The FAI Cup is now right up there with our country's most prestigious sporting events, especially since it moved here to the Aviva Stadium on Lansdowne Road. And this year's campaign certainly has proved that the magic of the Cup is very much alive.
The FAI Cup, the holy grail of Irish football for over a century. Raised by some of the greats of the game from all across the land. This year's quest has had drama, shocks, and skill. 2 teams are left. One dreaming of a double.
Oh, that's magnificent! And it's saved, and Shamrock Rovers are through.
The other looking for redemption.
Evan McLaughlin takes it early, 3-0.
Who will follow in the footsteps of their legends? And lift the Holy Grail.
They are the league champions, and given the depth of talent in their squad, Shamrock Rovers come into this year's final as overwhelming favourites to win the Cup and complete the double. They've had a busy week, having played Europa Conference League football in Greece on Thursday, before refocusing their attention on today's final. A rollercoaster end of season for these Cork City players, having to deal with the high of reaching the Cup final along with the low of suffering relegation back to the First Division. It really has been a season of contrasts for the Rebels. Decent form at home at times, but just one competitive win away from Turner's Cross. How will this relatively young squad deal with the big occasion on the wide expanses of the Aviva? It's the 2025 Sports Direct FAI Cup final. Recently crowned Premier Division champions Shamrock Rovers against Cork City. Kick-off is at 3 o'clock. Well, it being the most prestigious occasion on the domestic football calendar, we've rolled out the big guns to man our panel today. Gareth McGlynn, Stuart Byrne and Alan Cawley. Lads, you're very welcome. Perfect conditions here at the Aviva this afternoon. And Gareth, I was just thinking, this really is a uniquely Irish sporting occasion. And I suppose, you know, it's the biggest day for domestic football, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Even as a player, when you're playing the league, you look forward to this day. You want to be involved in this day. Some of the clubs have been looking to be here quite often. I mean, Shamrock Rovers are back now since 2019. It is massive, and you can see a lot of the League of Ireland legends here today as well. Everyone is really getting behind the cup final. They
certainly are. It's a very special occasion. And Stuart, Shamrock Rovers have a remarkable history in the competition. To win it 25 times out of the 104 finals so far really is pretty spectacular. But on the other side of that coin, they've only won it once this century. They want to amend that, don't they?
Yeah, I think so. I think in particular this group of players, Stephen Bradley, his journey, I suppose, started here 6 years ago by winning the Cup, and then that's led to record equalling 4 leagues in 5 years. So I think this year there's been a different focus about this Shamrock Rovers team and Stephen Bradley. I think he's wanted to do the double. I think he kind of wanted to get their league title back, as they would probably feel. And they've done that so far. They've won the league, they put themselves in situations to do a double. That's the one thing that's outstanding from his CV, and I think they'll be all guns blazing.
Yeah, now Cork City, Alan, they've won the competition 4 times, but it's worth adding that clubs from Leeside have won it on 12 occasions, so that should keep all Cork fans happy. But for Cork City today, they do come in as underdogs, but I get the impression from speaking to you guys in the build-up to this final that you do give them a chance.
Absolutely, Peter, and I don't think Shamrock Rovers should underestimate Cork City just because they've been relegated, and I don't think they will. I think Stephen Bradley and his players and his staff will give them the respect that they deserve, but all eyes are focusing on the fact that they have been relegated, so Shamrock Rovers naturally enough come in red-hot favourites. But for me, if you delve deep into the numbers, and we'll go through them in a wee while, Peter, in terms of what's gone on this season, I don't think it's as one-sided as people are making out, and I'll give the reasons for that in a wee while, Peter, but I certainly do give Cork City a chance.
OK, right now we can hear from the Shamrock Rovers manager, Stephen Bradley. He's talking to Tony.
Thanks very much indeed, Peter. And Stephen, this is a huge moment for the club. You've done so much over the last number of years. A double is within your grasp, and you know how important it is. 1987, the last time Shamrock Rovers won the double.
Yeah, we know if we can get the win today, we know it'll be a special achievement for the club, for the group. But we also know we're against a difficult team, so cup finals, anything can happen. But we understand if we can do it, it's a special achievement.
I was looking during the week at old footage in 1987 in particular, and when the third goal was scored, George Hamilton said the perfect scoreline, a hat-trick of doubles for the Hoops, and that was such a special team, and they're remembered forever. And I know they've been a part of your preparation in a way, haven't they?
They have. The team of the 80s have been incredible for us as a group. They come in and talk whenever we ask. They sit down with us. They help us. They've been special for us. They've really helped us. And we want to be sitting at the same table as them. And in order to do that, you've got to win doubles. And we have an opportunity to do that today.
Mick Byrne was the one who got the goal. Pat Byrne was the one who lifted the trophy. You have names in your squad these days that will be remembered in 20 and 30 and 40 years' time.
Yeah, well, that's the aim. It's not about the now. It's about them men are regarded as the best team to play in the league ever, and some of the best players, and that's how history remembers them. And like I said, if we can go and achieve today, hopefully some of our players are in that bracket when people are talking in 10, 20, 30 years' time.
Now, you've had a schedule that is, I suppose, because of your success. It's what happens when you're on the road in Europe, coming back from Athens with a very good result. It was a super result, but you'd be disappointed that you didn't get 3 points there.
Yeah, we're really disappointed. I thought the referee took it out of our hands, which was really disappointing. I think everyone agrees it wasn't a penalty. There's nothing we can do. You take it, you move on, it happens. Thursday was a good performance, a different type of performance, but a good one. And but we know today we have to be out of our used to playing Thursday, travel, play Sunday. So it won't be an issue, and it's a showpiece game, so the players are really looking forward to it.
Josh Honehan didn't travel to Greece, nor did Rory Gaffney. They both start today. Yeah,
Josh is being carrying a knock the last few weeks, and it's a struggle for him to play the 2 games in such a short space of time. So we picked today. Rory got the all clear on Thursday in a scan, which cleared him up for today, which is great. So both are ready to go.
You're on the brink of history. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Tony. And we've now been joined by Ger Nash, the Cork City head coach. And Ger, first of all, for many of your players, this is their first big cup final. So is a major part of your role this week in the lead up to this final getting their mindset right for their appearance at the Aviva?
Yeah, it is. It's huge. It's a huge occasion. As you said, it's a young squad. It's a team that we've very few players that have that experience of being here. But that's a part of where we are. It's part of what we've done over the last 6 months in terms of trying to build an identity around the club that we can build something that's successful. So yeah, it is. It's a huge part of it. It's a huge occasion. Look, we had it in the semi-final with a must-win game. That was our season. We responded really well that night. Today's bigger, no doubt about it. But look, I've got a group that I really care about, and I know they're going to give the best for the club tonight.
Yeah. So what has the build-up for the players been like this week in Cork?
Huge excitement. A busy week. We did a media work on Monday, which was good. We got that out of the way, and we could focus on training. But look, I guess we've also had the opportunity in the last number of weeks to get everybody right, to keep them hardened, but also give them a rest, any niggles, any of those things. We've got some players back from injury, so look, we've probably had a really different build-up to Stephen. We've had time to build and prepare, and look, we'll find out in a couple of hours, whether we've got it right.
Yeah, sure.
And Ger, just on the selection, obviously a brilliant journey here. You've beaten Waterford, you beat Pats in the semi-final. Talk me through the selection with Harry Nevin on the left-hand side and pushing. Is it pushing Fitzpatrick inside? Yeah,
we just Harry's a player who's obviously had some injuries, but again, he's a good young player. He's back now. He's had some football, so he was available. Young Fitzpatrick can play in a number of positions. He's an attacking threat. He's got pace. I think it's really important we have a mindset to go and score today and win the game. A lot of teams play against Shamrock Rovers and they sit back and they make you do that. But we need to go and win the game. We need to go and create chances. So young Fitzpatrick, a player who can create chances and score goals, we hope. And Harry, like I said, he's back from injury and he's got a really good temperament and he's done really well to come back. So excited to see him play.
Love it.
Ger, you spoke about the semi-final and how impressive the game was. I mean, that's part of the reason why I feel you guys are going to give Shamrock Rovers a game today. You were very confident afterwards. It wasn't a surprise to you. Was there anything in the week leading up to that game that told you, do you know what, something's going to happen here? And I'm trying to think, has something similar happened this week? Like, how confident are you that you can kind of reenact that kind of performance?
Look, we work in the same way. I think I said this to you the last time. We work in the same way. You can't guarantee anything in football, but I think we're trying to build an identity here. You'll see from the team there's a Corkness to the team now. We've built that, and there's a passion for playing for this football club. We didn't play fantastic against St. Pat's. We were clinical in front of goal. We defended well. what we showed was passion for this football club, and that's the first thing we need to show, and that would be the bedrock in the city that we work in. The people that represent that city, that's what they're all about. So I think that's the first thing we need to show. We've prepared in the same way like we always do. I think what the cup has given us is maybe a freshness. It's not the league. The league's been tough for us, and it's been a freshness in those weeks. So we've done some of the things we've done in all of our cup weeks. So far it's worked well for us, and we hope it does again today.
Jared, you spoke there to the lads just in terms of the inexperience, obviously, for the players, but also yourself. You're saying it's the first time you've been to the cup final, obviously the occasion as well. Can you take time to actually enjoy the moment as well, and in terms of the build-up and what it brings, I suppose, the day in itself?
Yeah, I guess so. Look, yeah, it is. It's my first time. I'll openly admit that. I've been in a different country most of my life, and I'm working abroad. It's a proud day for me to be here. I'm delighted to represent this football club. You know, take it all in. I don't know. I guess I can only reflect on it afterwards. My focus is on, as every manager, you prepare the team. You're trying to pick holes in Shamrock Rovers. There's not many, and prepare your team, and that's what we've been focused on. The occasion, it's a big occasion, but yeah, I think we're looking forward to the game.
Yeah, Jared, finally, many commentators, including myself, make reference to the vast expanses of the Aviva, but it's an absolutely beautiful surface, despite the fact that there was rugby played here yesterday. But for the young players, some people might say, oh, the big day at the Aviva might be challenging, but surely they'll relish the opportunity to play in such a wonderful arena and on such a great surface.
Yeah, they are. It's a fantastic opportunity for us. We know what's happening in the league. This gives us an opportunity to be in Europe. It also gives us an opportunity to, you know, for the players to experience where we want to be. You know, I hope we're at the start of something. You know, I think for this football club to be successful, we're going to have to build something over time. It's not going to be a quick fix, but I hope today can be a really big springboard for us, and a really big springboard for those young players especially.
Okay, Ger Wilson, many thanks for joining us. I'm sure you've got some more pre-match stuff to get through with your players. Best of luck this afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ger.
Cheers, lads.
Okay, well done. And now we can have a look at the Shamrock Rovers side that's been selected by Stephen Bradley. Alan's going to take it through us. What about this starting 11, Alan? What do you think?
Yeah, it's as strong as it gets, to be honest with you, Peter. The only one there, and Tony touched on it with Stephen, in terms of maybe Mandriau, but he was carrying a knock, I think, during the week, so that's why he's not starting. He's on the bench. But you look at that midfield area in particular, Watts, Healy, McAniff, Burke, they'll play that box. Burke is the one we'll focus on him. He's been the star of the cup all season, scoring in every round so far. But you look at the players all over. There's absolute quality. Ger mentioned it there, even speaking to us. It's very hard to pick holes in that team, but I think that's something that he will have to try and do, Peter, certainly if they're going to come out on top today. But it's a very strong lineup from Shamrock Rovers.
And not alone is it a strong lineup, Stuart. Stephen Bradley also has great selection on the bench as well, hasn't he?
Oh, it's crazy, Peter. I'm only looking at that's the one thing I looked at. Actually, I didn't even look at the first 11. It was actually the options off the bench. In League Race, probably one of the best defenders in the league, Danny Mandrew. I think one of the things about Rovers has been their ability to manage injuries. They haven't really been stuck with injuries, so that's been a huge benefit to them this year.
Yeah, now Gareth, there we can see the starting lineup for Cork City. What do you think?
Yeah, Keller coming in the heart of the defence is a big plus for him. Obviously, Feely's played in a cup final before, real experience. Jared touched on it before just now. He says it's really important that they don't give any soft goals away. Defensively, they're sound, because I believe that they have enough energy, they have enough tack and prowess with Maguire, Nolan, McLaughlin, and even Fitzpatrick from that side. He is so energetic, and they all run in direct lines. We're going to go through it a little bit about the high press. They have got loads of energy. I think, especially in the first 15 minutes, with Shamrock Rovers having the huge trek back, they only arrive back on Friday morning 4 a.m. They'll be a wee bit groggy. He'll be trying to get advantage of that, especially early on.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit more about Rovers' European performance and the possible impact it may have had in the lead up to this cup final. But now, when Rovers last won the cup, which was back in 2019, it was Ronan Finn who lifted the trophy for the Hoops, while Alan Bennett was captain. The last time Cork City won it, that was in 2017. Well, wouldn't you know it, Tony has tracked the two men down for a chat.
Thanks very much indeed, Peter. Yeah, I'm flanked by greatness. Yeah, the last Shamrock Rovers captain to win the FAI Cup, and the same with Cork City. So Ronan Finn and Alan Bennett, it's great to have you here. That tunnel, you've been walking out through it quite a few times on big days like this. What's it like, Benno?
Exciting, brilliant. There's a great energy. You get to see the fans, you get to see what's going on, you get to check the pitch, which looks great at the moment, and you're just really looking forward to getting started.
Let's check the pitch then. Let's have a walk on this. The lads talked about the fact there was a rugby match on it yesterday, Ireland against Japan. And amazingly, with all the bad weather we've had, it doesn't look too bad.
No, they've done a brilliant job. You know, as a player, you want to come out. You know, you've earned the right to be in the Aviva Stadium. Should be the best pitch in the country. And in fairness to the groundsmen, they've done a brilliant job. And I'm sure the lads will look forward to getting going.
About 45 minutes to kick off. Rovers have just come out. Let's have a look at them now. I mean, you've played with them. Look, Berkey there doing the keepy up. He's like Catherine Connolly.
Yeah, no, in fairness to Stephen, he's built a brilliant squad over the last 7-8 years. Really talented bench again at so many occasions. It's been the bench that have come on and win games. But, you know, Rovers haven't won the cup now in 6 years, so I'm sure the likes of the lads, Dylan, Graham here, you know, this is what they want to do again. They want to have them highs of, you know, a double now on the card, so having them medals in your back pocket would be something. But the Cork have obviously, you know, will have their own plans. It'll be a tough game.
When Rovers play most games in this country, they're favourites. They certainly are today. You know, how do you deal with that?
I think, though, you respect Cork, and Stephen will do that. Stephen's brilliant like that in terms of mindset. It's a cup final, absolutely anything can happen. Cork will do their homework. They've got great cup pedigree. They've had some great success over here. You know, Alan's lifted medals, lifted trophies in this venue, so I'm sure they'll have the exact same plan as Rovers do.
You know what's interesting? You were man of the match here in a cup final when you didn't win it, and you were the same. So talk to me about 2015 and the year you didn't win it.
Yeah, we were chatting about that beforehand. It was that whole series of cup finals, that 4 cup finals in a row, Cork and Dundalk, where it was such a massive occasion. And I was thinking about it this morning when I was driving up. The decisive goals in all 4 of those games were scored in front of the home fans. So you had Richie Towell at that end with Patrick McElhenney, and then you had Seanie Maguire at this end, and you had Akil Campion scoring. It's no coincidence in my mind, because as a player, you're imagining scoring. You're going to bed last night, you're dreaming about getting that winner in the cup final. You want to do it in front of your home fans. You want to celebrate with them. It's just so exciting, and those occasions were fantastic to go back now and think about. But Cork here today, it's a tough ask for them, but they will be playing on everything that Ronan has mentioned there. They will be playing on the fact that Rovers travelled away during the week. They were in Europe. They will play on the fact that they need to keep a clean sheet. They need to keep it tight. But up top, you've got Seanie Maguire, you've got a great chance.
That's the goal that he scored in. Let's have a look at it. And that's where the Cork City fans are. So if, as you're saying, it's decisive where your home fans are, that could be the one.
Absolutely. Like if you're going to bed at night, you're dreaming about this game. You're dreaming about that minute, that last minute winner. You're dreaming about celebrating in front of your fans. There's a good travelling support. I passed loads of buses on the way up to today. There'll be lots more Cork City fans come in, and they'll make themselves heard, definitely.
We're having you here as a representative of the Shamrock Rovers, but of course you guys were in opposition. You were Dundalk at the time.
Yeah, and again, me and Alan speaking about it, they were great games. There's 2 real, you know, massive rivalry between the 2 clubs at that stage. This slightly different in terms of Cork and Rovers will always have a natural rivalry. Listen, you know, you can't get away from the fact they're both at opposite ends of the table. Rovers being very successful. Cork, unfortunately, got relegated. But again, as I said, on a cup final, absolutely anything can happen. You know.
Yeah, but you're expecting Rovers to win it, aren't you?
Listen, yeah, you would expect Rovers to win on the basis of their players, their performances throughout this season. But trust me, Tony, on a cup final, anything can happen. You know, could come down to a referee's decision. And Alan said about like Cork still have brilliant players, the likes of Seanie, that can just do something now and nothing. And Stephen will respect that.
He's Plumos in Cork, really, isn't he?
He's no, it's for everyone. I think there are not many people outside of Cork giving Cork a chance, except for that little slimmer of hope, which we'll hang on to. But it's 100% for me. It's about the start of the game, that first half. If Cork City can even get in the half time, they'll all keep the game at that tightness as long as they can. Then the more it goes on, hopefully fatigue will kick in. It's been a long season for Shamrock Rovers, and they're still not finished. So Cork City have had plenty of time to rest and prepare. So a good start, and hopefully they can keep that going.
This is some double to have, by the way. Alan Bennett, Ronan Finn, 2 great captains, 2 great players. Hope you enjoy the day.
Thank you.
Thanks, honey.
Yes, 2 cup-winning captains from the relatively recent past, Ronan Finn and Alan Bennett. But today, will it be Roberto Lopez or will it be Fiachra Kelleher? Well, our countdown to kick off the FAI Cup Final of 2025 will continue right after this break. The young, the old, the brave and the bold. Their duty to support their team here at the Aviva Stadium on Cup Final Day. Shamrock Rovers against Cork City. And even the drummer boys are here. Well, any game is enhanced by exceptional players with silken skills, and that can set the stadium alight. Well, Shamrock Rovers attacker Graham Burke is one such player, and our Alan went to meet the man they call Graham.
As Shamrock Rovers have won the FAI Cup for the 25th time.
The most special moment I probably have at this football club is the 2019 Cup Final.
Ahead of all the league titles?
Yeah, ahead of all of them. I think like that's the first professional trophy I won, the first that most of us in the group have won, and you know, that day is in, you know, other than playing big games, like is in coming out, seeing everything, family there, everything like that. Yeah, that's the most special trophy that I've probably won at this club. And last time in the Cup Final was 2020. It was obviously a COVID year, so we obviously haven't been back to the final since then. So it was obviously a goal of ours to get back there, and it's obviously took a couple of years for us to do, and yeah, we're really looking forward to this.
Since you've come back here, the success has been unbelievable. But what would you kind of put that down to in terms of not just individually, but say Stephen and the manager and the group as well?
I think it's the group. I think it's the group that Stephen has built, the characters he's bringing into the group, the style of play that he has and how he wants us to play. But I think me personally speaking, what he's done for me is always given me confidence and always made me feel that I'm a good player.
Introduction of Graham Burke of Shamrock Rovers. For the first time since 2006, there's a League of Ireland player in a full Irish international.
Special moment for me is in...
Was that the highlight?
That is the highlight of my career, I think, for anybody's career to represent your country. It doesn't really get any bigger than that, and follow her up to playing the Aviva against USA and at the score
as well, yeah.
You know, it was in a special moment, and nobody can ever take that away from me.
Very surprised with that. I thought he was going for the red card for Graham Burke after putting his hands on Adams the way he did.
That moment in time, I thought a player was coming in to try and hurt me, to where I obviously reacted to that. It was a push. I tried to push him, but obviously all momentum, and I thought he went limp, to where it looked really bad when I seen it back. I was really lucky. We've had a lot of tough games against Cork this year. Obviously, going back to the recent game 1-1, I thought Cork performed very well in the game. I think they have a lot of young players. A brilliant striker in Shawnee and a brilliant striker in Rory, and obviously coming off the back of an injury, but we know Cork have some fantastic players, so it's going to be a really tough game. The Cup Final is obviously a special game. The whole day, the week, the build-up to it, the hotel the night before, the new suit. It's not every day you get to wear a suit going to where.
Are you a suit man?
No, more of a tracksuit person. In a city, I'm a tracksuit. The ticket request you get, I probably have 30 ticket requests for this game. Obviously, the last time I didn't have kids at the Cup Final, and you know, they'd be coming out with me, walking out in the Aviva, so that's a special moment. So yeah, everybody wants to be there, and lucky enough we are.
Yeah, Alan, it was very interesting watching more of that interview extended online, where he was speaking about his time in England, and that after his spell at Preston North End, which was his second spell in England, he was very happy to get back to Shamrock Rovers, and he really has made a great career at the club, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely, Peter. Everybody thinks the be-all and end-all is to go across the water, but it's actually not, and the more we create a bigger industry here for lads, the more you'll see the likes of the brilliant players like Graham Burke stay and have a brilliant career here, and hopefully maybe one day represent their country off the back of what they're doing in this league, Peter. That's all what we aspire to, what we're aiming for in terms of what we want and how we want this league to develop. But he's a good example of that, and as you say, he went back the second time, but because he loved it so much at Shamrock Rovers, sometimes you just feel at home somewhere. Obviously he gets on great with the manager, as he said himself, gives him a lot of confidence, and it only shows in his performances. That's a clear reflection of how happy the boy is. He's very relaxed the way he speaks as well, like the way he plays, Peter, and he's a fantastic talent.
That's a really big shift in the culture of young men playing in the game here. You're almost taught to be obsessed about England. It's England or nothing, England or nothing. And all of a sudden in the last, I don't know, 5-6 years, maybe a little bit longer, it's okay to have a career here and be settled with your family around the people you know, the area you love, and you play your best football. Seeing it time and time again, and it's becoming an increasing thing.
Yeah, it's one area where Brexit actually did us a couple of favours with players not being able to go to England too young, which is probably a good thing, and some are exploring European options as well. But let's talk a little bit more about Graham Burke. Alan, leading scorer in the competition this season, 5 goals in 4 matches. His importance to Shamrock Rovers can't be understated, sure it can't.
No, look, Peter, all the best players, you need them showing up on the big days, and he's certainly one of their best players, if not the best one. And as you say, his record in the Cup so far this season has been unbelievable, scoring in every round and scoring 2 in the semi-final. But his general play is what makes him stand out, Peter. It's the goals on top of that then that maybe win you the matches, but his general play makes the team tick. He plays ahead of the 2 kind of sitting midfielders. He's allowed roam freely. We saw him here tonight against Drogheda in the quarter-final, himself and Mandriau in the first half. Another brilliant player that he's not starting today, but the 2 of them ran amok in the first half. And again, you see them linking up here. First time finish with a left foot, scores all type of goals, creates goals, and I think that's the one thing. Takes a lot of shots, Peter. I've never known a player to take as many shots from distance, so he loves to score. This is absolutely brilliant as well. Again, this is the semi-final now, and you just look at the first touch here and the nonchalant finish. He's just a class act, he really is, Peter, and none more so than seeing him on a day like this. That's a right foot finish, so he scores all sorts of goals. But the most important thing, and I think for creative players and what separates them, he gets the goals, Peter. Is 4 out of the last 5 seasons he's hit double figures. How many players do we see in terms of creative ones that don't get enough goals? He not only creates, but he scores goals and wins matches. Brilliant player.
But I tell you what else he does, Alan. He works hard. Like, he just doesn't stand there, and he's not a luxury player. He gets into defensive positions quick and gets behind the ball. He's not one of these boys that just scores goals and sets up. He's an all-round good, he's a team player.
And speaking of defensive positions, none more important than the goalkeeper. And I suppose after Alan Manus retired, Stuart, it took Shamrock Rovers a little bit of time to sort out that #1 spot, but it's very much Ed McGinty's now, isn't it?
Very much so, yeah. And I mean, I remember seeing McGinty at Sligo, and he always stood out as being a really good shot stopper. You know, he gets down low, big, powerful guy, but he just has that natural goalkeeping ability to kind of pull off kind of difficult saves, as we see here. But the significance about him going to Raw, I remember hearing the conversation being very much around his stats. He was statistically the best goalkeeper in the league by quite a considerable, almost like a Moneyball thing. I was always worried about, you know, how is he maybe in terms of his communication, or how will he settle into this Shamrock Rovers full time, you know, the success they've had. The key thing for me, for McGinty, especially in this game, is his ability to be comfortable in and around his 18-yard box. Distribution, his communication to his back 4, back 3, whoever's in front of him. Look, this is what will happen if it goes to penalties. But that aside, what we'll see from Cork is they have fantastic penetration down the middle. Maguire, McLaughlin, Nolan, they're at their best, especially Maguire operating just in front of the box. And this guy is going to have to be really kind of almost commanding that area, playing like a sweeper to make sure that he's kind of just squeezing, putting pressure on Maguire, kind of shutting down any opportunities that Maguire might try and sniff out.
Yeah, and I was just thinking from Stephen Bradley's point of view, the European experience that a lot of these players are getting is beneficial, and I think would it be correct to say that Ed McGinty is one of those players who really has matured, and European football has helped him, and he was good against AEK on Thursday.
Yeah, absolutely, and coming into this group as well, serial winners, it'll make them comfortable, and the 3 boys in front of him as well, the 3 defenders, they will make it a whole lot easier. But he's a very, very good young goalkeeper as well. He as well has been across the water, he's had that experience, he's come back and he's thriving, and he's having a real good season this year. I still think he's got a bit to go. He's not the finished article, he's not the Manus, but should he keep developing the way he's developing, he could be Shamrock Rovers goalkeeper for the next 10 years.
Yeah, he certainly can. I was speaking earlier when we had Jerry Nash here about the youthful side of Cork City's starting 11, but I suppose relatively speaking Shamrock Rovers are a pretty youthful side as well, and they've got lots of young players who've worked their way into the starting lineup in the last couple of years, and Josh Honan was one of those.
Yeah, incredible. Josh Honan is one player that I've been watching since he came with Cork. He started at Carrigaline, went to Cork, then went to Rovers, but then this year obviously got the international call-up. He's a fantastic player, and listen, he's not the silky skills of Mandrieu and Burke and Watts, but he has got the mindset, the physicality, and he's probably the one player in the league that I think can go across the water and can kick on. He's got that. We'll see it here today. The physical presence. He's getting better every day. He now has turned from a right back very good defensive right back to a quite athletic, forward-thinking left wing back. And we'll see him here getting into forward positions. But physically, he is massive for them, and defensively, he's massive for them as well.
Yeah, that's Josh Honahan. Now, I know you've got different opinions among you guys about Shamrock Rovers' European exploits. Now, they had a very good performance against AEK, a 1-1 draw out in Athens. But, Gareth, do you feel that they will be a little bit tired after that, considering that they didn't get home to about 4 on Friday morning?
It's interesting when you look at it. The 3 players that came off at half-time, they will have played 45 minutes. They'll be well rested. It's the players that he left behind as well, Honahan and Gaffney. They will be fresh. They will be ready to rock and roll. So there's a blend there. But listen, that will be something that Ger Nash will be thinking about. If you look at Cork's 4 of the last 5 victories that Cork have had, they've scored in the first 10 minutes. They were amazing in the first 15 minutes against St. Pat's. Probably should have been 3 up. Yeah. So I expect Cork to come out and really try and catch Shamrock Rovers napping with a wee bit of jet lag from that Athens trip.
The thing about Rovers this year is I don't think they've been at their best for 90 minutes, for 190 minutes all season. I think what they've managed to do is they've been able to evolve different players week on week, and they seem to be excellent at managing games. So, you know, they haven't always been fantastic. There's been times where they've been under the cosh, but they have that ability in the game to just turn it around, and that's a huge compliment to any team. Not very many teams can do that in any league, but that's the thing that I think probably the best attribute that Rovers
on the surface
have.
Peter, people think they've been so dominant, and yes, they're the best team, they're the best players, we know that, and the titles that they've won reflect that. But if you delve into the numbers, they've only points per game this season 1.8. Only 5 teams have won the league with lower, and we're going back to Drumcondra 47-48, Cork Hibs 70-71, Cork City 92-93, Dundalk 94-95, and Shelburne last year. If you look at the goals per game as well, Peter, they've only scored 1.5. Again, the 4th lowest in the summer kind of era since we've seen that. And if they've actually conceded nearly a goal a game as well. So they haven't been as dominant as people think. I think it's up to the other clubs to maybe step up and challenge that. I don't think enough of them have done that well enough. But I think if you look at Cork City, they haven't been one of the worst relegated teams either if you look at their points per game. So there's a lot in their favour. But as Gareth says, you're trying to replicate what they produced on the night against St. Patrick's Athletic. If they do that, they have a great chance. If they don't, the quality of Shamrock Rovers will be too much.
OK, thanks, Alan. By the way, the Drumcondra 47-48, that's the only stat I didn't clearly remember. Thanks for that, though. Now, Seanie Maguire may be one of the more senior players in the Cork City lineup, but just a few weeks ago, he produced one of his best ever all-round displays in the Cup semi-final against Pats. Proof, as if proof was needed, that he is still one of the most potent strikers in the game. Tony met up with him in Cork.
Seanie Maguire, I can't believe this is your first time seeing the old English market.
Yeah.
Look, it's the food capital of Ireland, Cork.
Unbelievable. Like, I've been in Cork nearly 9 years now. Yeah, as I said, it's my first time in the English markets. It won't be my last anyway.
Well, when you come back here with the Cup next Sunday night, very special moment it'll be.
Yeah, do you know what? It'll actually be, I think, hopefully it'll be the first place that I actually come to. And I'll actually just put it there in the fountain. I might actually put it on top. There'll be a couple of lads with me, but yeah, look, it's hopefully going to be a special day, and as you said there, hopefully we can bring that trophy back to Cork.
That prowling style appears a beautiful touch. Seanie Maguire opens the scoring, and that is vintage Seanie Maguire.
Tell us about the semi-final, because that was a special night. Obviously, we're up against St. Pat's, who would have been favourites, strong favourites that night. And what a performance and what a result.
I think a couple of people asked me a question earlier, where did that performance come from? And if I had the answer for it, I suppose we wouldn't be standing here talking to you now and being relegated. But if we can bring the level like we did against St. Pat's in the semi-finals against a team that have been the best team in the country the last 6 years, that's the level of performance we'll have to be at come Sunday evening.
Tell us why Cork means so much to you. I mean, when you came here first, would you say it was following a difficult time at Dundalk?
Yeah, I think it was a difficult time, not just only in my football career, but in life in general, because when I left Dundalk, I didn't play. Where do I find myself going to without football? Probably nowhere, I suppose. And I felt like it was a match made in heaven. Played nearly 70 times in space of a year and a half, scored over 50 goals. Things off the pitch were brilliant.
So you're like an adopted son now?
Yeah, like I mean, I was born in Luton, grew up in Kilkenny, and now I'm bred into Cork. It's where my wife is from, it's where my little boy is from, and it's where our forever home is going to be. So it's a place where I'm probably going to be for the rest of my life.
Well, there you go. Shawnee Maguire's off the mark in an Irish shirt.
To score for your country, that's got to be up there.
Yeah, it's number one. Like, scoring and playing for your country, that's what you set out to do as a young kid.
The Aviva is a special place for you. I remember the cup final goal.
Maguire. Oh, he's done it! That's the goal!
What do you remember of it?
I generally do think it's probably one of my worst Cork City performances.
It won the cup.
Yeah, look, people tend to forget like the performance side of it.
Yeah.
Probably one of my worst goals that I've scored, but one of the best at the same time.
Well, technically, maybe, in a sense.
Yeah.
But it went past Gary Rogers.
It did. Like, it took forever at the time as well.
During that semi-final, it was something special. Is there another big game in Shawnee Maguire?
There's another big game in Shawnee Maguire.
Hopefully Sunday.
Cheers, Tony.
Best of luck to you. Yeah. And by the way, enjoy. They're great.
Lovely. Thanks, Tom.
Well, there you go. Didn't know Shawnee Maguire had a sweet tooth. He certainly has a sweet touch in front of goal, even at his age. He's, I suppose, one of the most senior players in the squad. Hugely important to Cork City. And in that semi-final, Stuart, he really set the bar high, and the players followed him. He led by example, didn't he?
Yeah, he ran the game, to be quite honest with you. This is why, see this area, 18 yards out, that's where he's at his best. You know, picking pockets, just kind of anticipation of mistakes. Goalkeeper in no man's land. That's why I'm speaking about McGinty needing to be on the ball. But his whole build-up play, that he offers himself into that sort of central, almost an advanced midfield area, gets Cork playing, picks it up. He can take a knock, he can take a kick. He's always looking to offload to either Nolan or McLaughlin. Extremely comfortable in possession. Look how easy he guides across the ground here. He looks like he's jogging, but he's eating up the ground, and he's got wonderful awareness. Always aware of who's around him. You know, and again, to speak with that ability just to kind of drag in a foul, get your team out of trouble. And look, Cork are going to need that today, because Rovers are going to have an awful lot of possession. Again, in and around that 18-yard box, what is he looking to do? Get a bit of space and he gets a strike away. Very lucky not to put that one in the top corner, has that ability. And this is, of course, the goal set up for Evan McLaughlin. And look at that for strength and awareness, just dragging players towards him. That gives McLaughlin the space to run into. A little bit of luck, but this is the way Cork operate. Very, very good at going from back to front really quickly, kind of piercing through the middle, and Maguire is he's the catalyst for all of that.
One thing about Cork City today, they're going to face a very potent Shamrock Rovers attack. It's important that their back line do well, and Freddie Anderson has been extremely good for them this season, has been pretty much a regular in Jerry Nash's starting 11.
Yeah, only 19 years of age, Peter, but every time I've watched him, he's really stood out for such a young kid. Obviously, he's on loan from Stoke City, so comes from a decent pedigree as well.
Yeah.
But you look at him in the games, he set up the goal, his distribution is very, very good. But more importantly, as a centre-half, you have to be a good defender. And the night against St. Pat's, you see the likes of this here, taking command in the central area, winning headers, Peter. What he was really good at was covering that near post area as a centre-half, especially to play 3 as well. So that's his domain that he really needs to take care of, especially say with the likes of what Shamrock Rovers have to offer. But all night, again, a calm pass in a kind of a chaotic moment in the match. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Again, this is another example covering that near post area, just nice and calm and composed throughout. There was one mistake, Peter, the whole night, and this was it, which obviously as a young kid, 19 years of age, he was lucky not to be sent off. It was a terrible tackle, but if he remains composed as he normally tends to do in the games, I'd have no qualms about him. He also comes from good pedigree with his dad. Viv Anderson probably deserves a mention, but I'm really impressed by this kid, and he's been really, really good for Cork. So to play on this stage, he's beginning to emulate his dad, Peter, but he's a long way to go yet.
He has, but he has time on his side, that's for sure. A very young player and key to Cork this afternoon. Now, one thing that surprised us when we were down at Turner's Cross for the semi-final against Pats, Gareth, was that almost immediately Cork employed this high press, which we thought was almost dangerous on the evening, but it worked out extremely extremely well for them. The question is, can they do it today?
Yeah, well, they have to do it today. And even when you hear Ger Nash at the top of the show there, he believes that they're going to do it. I mean, Fitzpatrick is coming in saying, here he is here, winning the ball back. But look at all the players. They're all driving forward. And that's what they were really good at. It's all well and good winning the ball back, but you've got to get players in the box. There's 6 in the box there now. If you get players in the box and put it in the box, you'll cause them problems. 7 players. Look at them pressing Kazim. Now, the first player doesn't get him. Second player comes in. Then McLaughlin, who was instrumental and at the heart of everything, gets a shot off from the edge of the box. They need to do this. You've got Crawley here now come in. He could have easily put that back to the midfielder. He doesn't. But it's McLaughlin's direct running that causes problems, and it's a great finish with his right foot. We see here Shawnee. That's all well and good, Shawnee holding the ball up there. But it's nothing unless you have the players who are willing to selflessly make runs and pull people away, and it's a great finish. And I think the first 15 minutes, that's what we're going to see from Cork City.
Stuart, you were with us that night down in Cork, and it's very hard to equate that excellent performance by Cork City with the relegation from the Premier Division. How has it happened?
I mean, even Jared Nash said, I think from his comments, he felt they could have even played better on that night. And what was impressive for me was the fact that unity in closing down, as Garrett has just gone through, but their ability to turn that sort of defensive unit into such a quick and precise attack. I struggled to find another game where I kind of seen it being so exact and so precise. I mean, it's a pet hate of mine in the modern game that when the ball goes up to the top man, he holds it up, it goes back, and they just keep possession. Cork don't do that. They turn on the sixpence, and all of a sudden there's 2-3 players in support, and bang, they're right through you.
I'll tell you what, that was an evolution. When Ger Nash first came in, he was doing an academy. He was splitting the centre halves, pushing the fullbacks on, playing through the 6. He has changed.
If you actually look at it, they've been in winning positions. They've dropped 23 points, Peter. That tells you that's a team not relegated, getting battered every week. That's a team that's in games, taking the league, just can't hold on to them. But this, believe me, this wasn't the worst team that was relegated in all the leagues that we've seen, and their points per game proves that.
Okay, Alan, time is against us because kick-off time rapidly approaching here at the Aviva Stadium on Lansdowne Road. Most of the fans now are in the stadium getting ready for the 2025 Sports Direct FAI Cup Final. We'll be back to continue our countdown to kick-off after the break.
Say be a tight game. Hopefully finish 3-0, 3-1 to Rovers.
Come on, City! Come on, lads! City! All the ways!
It's going to be a Rovers win. We're really looking forward to it today. It's been a while. We used to be a great cup team. Now we just win the league, and the cup's going to be the cherry on the top. We're on the Rovers.
Well, hopefully we're still in it by half-time in it. That'd be the job, but take a miracle with the season we've had. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
I think City will win 2-1. 2-1.
I'd like to say 3-1. I'd like to say. Probably won't be, but I'd like to say 3-1.
Oh, Cork City, obviously. Rovers to the win.
Shawnee will play his role for them.
Shawnee's got him the winner.
Yeah. Come on, Cork City. Yay!
Yeah, always interesting to hear from the supporters on their way into the ground, and it sounds like Cork City are going to shade it as far as most of them are concerned, although most of them were from Cork.
That's true as well. No, I think it's going to be an early goal from Cork here, and I think it's going to be a lot tighter than most of the supporters think.
That's a brave prediction, Gareth. What about you, Stewie? How do you think it's going to go?
I think no regrets. I think Cork kind of have to. They've set a standard for themselves with the semi-final performance, and I just think from their point of view, they can emulate that. We'll have a game in their hands.
Yeah, but they will be up against it, though. This is a quality Rovers side.
Absolutely, but for all the reasons we outlined, you have to give Cork City a chance as well, Peter. This isn't as one-sided as people think, but the big question for them is, can they replicate what they produced that night in Turner's Cross? If they do, they have a big chance. If not, they don't.
Well, let's hope we have a keenly contested 2025 FAI Cup Final. And on commentary for you this afternoon, Des Curran and Conan Byrne.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. Good evening, everyone. A glorious November afternoon for this cup final, and a cup final that pits together the men from the capital and the men from the self-professed real capital. Any Cork-Dublin joust, Conan, is one to savour. It brings the atmosphere, it brings that rivalry. But which way will the chips fall today?
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Obviously, with the support base of both teams really prominent in the ground already, the atmosphere is building. I do expect the Shamrock Rovers victory, but like everybody is talking about, the lads downstairs, I do think it's going to be a lot tighter than what people think.
Well, from Cork FC in the 30s to Cork Athletic in the 50s to Cork Celtic twice in the 60s, it was only ever cup final woe at the hands of Shamrock Rovers for the Leaside sides. Will Cork City, off the back of relegation, change the narrative, or will the league champions Shamrock Rovers land that coveted first league and cup double in almost 40 years? That is what they are playing for. That, and of course European football as well, which involves more than these two clubs today.
Oh, absolutely. I think Bohemians are going to be looking at this very carefully, but also, will they be supporting their greatest rival, Shamrock Rovers? Maybe not out loud, Des, but they certainly will be.
I haven't seen any half and half Shamrock Rovers Bows jerseys, have you?
No, I don't think we'll be seeing them. I have seen some half and half Shamrock Rovers Cork City scarves coming into the ground today, but it's look, it's going to be an electric atmosphere, and I'm really looking forward to the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, from a Shamrock Rovers point of view, that long overdue FAI Cup win back in 2019, which was their first in 32 years, that would prove the catalyst for their return to domestic dominance. But while league titles would rain down in Tallaght, the cup hasn't proven as fruitful. This is just a second final appearance since 2019, and the last in 2020 would end in defeat to Dundalk off the back of an unbeaten league title. Roberto Lopez, speaking during the week, said that's probably his biggest disappointment in football, that they didn't complete that perfect season. As for Cork City, last victorious 2017 as part of their double winning year under John Caulfield, a shootout win against Dundalk to attain a cup won the previous year against the same opposition. The teams are on the way. Initial estimates were for a crowd of 30,000, then that was bumped up to 35, and the weather conditions today might even push us north of that. It is the best day in the calendar year for domestic club football, and let's hope these two teams now can deliver.
Yeah, absolutely. Really looking forward to the game. The atmosphere, as I said, is building. The ground is starting to fill up nicely. Yeah, anticipation now is building massively.
The Rovers landed back from Athens in the early hours of Friday morning. Cork City, no way of sugarcoating it. They have not travelled well this season between League and Cup. 19 games away from Turner's Cross, just a sole victory, and that in the Cup quarter-final in Ballybofey. 4 league meetings this season, 2 draws at Turner's Cross, 2 Rovers wins in Tallaght. FAI President Paul Cook and representatives from both clubs will now step forward to greet the players. I mean, you're a cup final veteran, Conan. You've been on both sides of it. From a player's point of view, you've had the week, you've had the suit fittings, you've had the clamour for tickets. Now this little nervous wait ahead of kick-off.
Yeah, you just want the game to get started. All these proceedings that take place before it, they're very important. Obviously, it's the biggest day in the domestic calendar, but you just want to get going. You want the referee to blow his whistle so you can get focused and start, because these can be little slight distractions for the players, but it's all about trying to stay focused and concentrate on the game ahead.
And we should mention, given the action here with the Ireland rugby team against Japan yesterday, the ground staff have done a remarkable job. Pitch looks in absolutely pristine condition. Big game players on both sides. Who will have the biggest say? A cup that has given us 6 different winners in the last decade. These two clubs amongst them. And as Fiachra Kelleher leads the party of dignitaries down to the end of that Cork City line, a big day for him as well. Brother Keeveen has been here to telling effect at this stadium on numerous occasions now. And Fiachra coming back home from his footballing career abroad in the summer, and speaking to him this week. Such a hugely proud moment for him.
Massive experience as well, coming back into his hometown club, his club captain as well. He's done remarkably well and settled into life in the domestic league excellently.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for now on the field.
The league season finished with the width of the table and 42 points separating the sides, but now it's all down to 190 minutes or possibly more. For Cork City, it would not be a unique achievement to be relegated and win the cup in the same year, but it is rare, and what's rare their fans will be hoping is wonderful. Let's bring you the team news then. Shamrock Rovers took that terrific point from Athens on Thursday night, and how close they were to all three. Less than 72 hours later, a handful of changes as Danny Grant, Josh Honahan, Matt Healy, Aaron McAneff and Rory Gaffney come in. Honahan and Healy, the exiled Cork men in this Rovers team, have played a significant role this year. Dylan Watts and Graham Burke also key. Watts didn't get on the pitch in 2019, but has since developed into one of the most influential Rovers players. Teen star Michael Noonan misses out, one of 4 Rovers players away on under-17 World Cup duty in Qatar. Rovers led again by Roberto Lopez. Key figure at the back for this outfit. And of course a big day also for our match officials as the ball is delivered. And let's hope it's a day that goes smoothly for Paul Norton and his team as well. His first FAI Cup final appointment. He started this season with the President's Cup and ends it with the Cup final. But Ger Nash goes with 9 of the 11 that started that sensational semi-final win against St. Pat's 5 weeks ago. 4 into 3 doesn't go, so Charlie Lyons, the centre-half, who misses out behind Anderson, Kelleher and Rory Feely. Feely, a goal scorer in Bows loss to Pats here back in 2021. And a big call with the inclusion of Harry Nevin, who in an injury-hit campaign makes his first start since mid-August. Greg Bolger chasing a 5th winners medal, 2-1 with Cork and 1 with Rovers, after turning in a player of the match performance for St. Pat's in 2014. And of course 2 years after that, Seanie Maguire scored the extra time winner against Dundalk. Rory Keating on the Cork City bench. So almost all set. Seanie Maguire, can he inspire Cork City again? The match winner in 2016, he was in the stands in 2017, having departed midway through the season along with Kevin O'Connor. And for Shamrock Rovers, 13 winners' medals in their squad. Will that experience come to bear? They began their season domestically here, a defeat to Bohemians in that league game played at the Aviva. And they will finish their domestic season here as well, but will it be with success?
The FAI Cup final isn't just a game, it's tradition, passion, and bragging rights for a whole year. Like we saw last year, the underdog can be successful, and we've seen it many times over the years also. Will we see it again today?
And Graham Burke, the man standing over the ball in the centre circle. Leading scorer in the cup this season. Gets us underway, a huge roar. Descends from the stands, and Daniel Cleary, no stranger to cup final day, launches the first ball forward, headed to safety by Freddie Anderson. Early minutes key. The general consensus, given how their league seasons went, is that Cork City might need to strike first, might need to strike early. Let's see how that goes. Well, as we expected, Josh Fitzpatrick is operating wide on the left-hand side, that ability to attack from outside of Rory Feely. Gaffney makes his first run over the top. Instead it goes out towards Honahan, and that skips away from the former Cork City favourite and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, like the shape that you talked about there, it's Crowley and Bolger in the middle of the park. Bolger is going to be sitting right in front of that back three, protecting those, while Crowley will be given the opportunity to get forward and support the likes of Alex Nolan and Evan McLaughlin.
Now that positioning of Dara Crowley is intriguing. He's a pretty much play anywhere for the manager in his Cork City career. Right wing back for much of this season, but maybe in the big pitch at the Aviva, those extra legs in the middle alongside Greg Bolger. Bolger certainly worth the mention as well, Conan, what he brings. He has had his injury issues. He's 37 now, but so much cup pedigree, and when he plays in this Cork City side, they're a better side for it.
Oh, he's absolutely massive, and he's the most experience on the pitch, considering his FAI Cup final experience, his 7th Cup final appearance. He's already got 4 winners' medals. Can he add another one to his trophy cabinet?
Here is Cleary bending into the channel for the run of McInnes. A little nudge in the back. And Feely felt it coming.
Yeah, you're going to want to be very quick to outrun Rory Feely as a centre half. There wasn't many that got by him this season in behind, and he's done really well there to get the foul.
Rory Feely scored with that brilliant header down at that end in the Bows Pats final of a few years ago. Ultimately ended up on the losing side though. It's been a really good mid-season edition coming back from England.
There's a couple of questions I asked myself in the lead up to this game, and one of those was how will Cork deal with Shamrock Rovers box in midfield, considering they used to play a back 4, but they're going to match them now. There's no excuses for being overrun in midfield with them matching up, so it's going to be very interesting, that battle.
Fitzpatrick, who was here in 2016 with his schoolboy team Everton, watching on that day, now gets to play in the cup final and facing up Graham Burke here. Matt Healy from Riverstick in Cork had a good season and a half on loan with his native team, and there's the first big tackle from Crowley. It wasn't really an appeal from Shamrock Rovers, but Paul Norton has given the free kick.
And just off camera, it looks like he's jarred his ankle a little bit there, Graham Burke. It's probably a good decision by Paul Norton on second viewing of that incident.
And Cork City well aware of the threat that Burke poses. We always remember 2020, 6-0 win in Tala when Burke scored 5. Now Dylan Watts, they might have laboured over the line in the league in the end, but it was that superb moment of surgical precision with the free kick from Watts that confirmed Rovers' 5th league title in 6 seasons, the free kick against Galway. Watts swings it in, great delivery as well. Bolger won to get a touch, and there might have been one behind him too. Cleared by Anderson. Here is Healy. And back with McInnes. Watts again. Looking over the top for Gaffney, who looked like he got a little early, and that confirmed by the assistant referee's flag.
Yeah, slightly early. It's a good start by Shamrock Rovers. They're controlling the tempo of the play. Cork are very happy for them to have the ball. I think the key thing for me for Cork is effective communication and concentration along with that work rate, and we may have an underdog story this year. It's so important that when you're not used to playing a certain formation, that communication is so key.
Stephen Bradley, 9 years in permanent charge this month, having initially got the job in a caretaker capacity. Over 400 games in charge. And the other dugout, Jaron Ashen, just his 25th at the helm of Cork City. And as you'd have heard early, his first experience of a cup final. McLaughlin hassling and harrying. Danny Grant, who came close to a final appearance last season with Bows, lost that semi-final to a Michael Duffy-inspired Bohemians, or Derry City, at Dalymount. Here is Maguire. And again, the cut on the inside, he's been chopped down by Watts. And Cork City now for the first time, and as soon as the whistle is gone, a chance to load the big men into the penalty area.
Brilliant centre-forward play by Seanie Maguire. He just holds off Cleary so well, and then when it goes inside...
To load the big men into the penalty area.
Brilliant centre-forward play by Seanie Maguire. He just holds off Cleary so well, and then when it goes inside, feels the contact and goes down. Brilliant play by Maguire.
And the right-footed option is Bolger, the left foot of McLaughlin. Kelleher, Feely, Anderson, all in there hunting this one. Bolger to tease it in. Good delivery as well, and flicked on its way by Matt Healy out for a corner.
Yeah, it's a good delivery in by Bolger. Gives Cork an opportunity from the first corner of the game as well. They'll get Kelleher will stay up, Anderson will stay up.
And Freddie Anderson, whose only goal so far in this lone year at Cork City came against Rovers at Turner's Cross back in May. Corner taken short. McLaughlin again. Crowley lining one up here. Just for a moment, it looked like it might have enough to squirm under Ed McGinty, but he got his hand to it, kept it strong.
Oh, Crowley has scored wonder goals against Shamrock Rovers in the past. And that's a great strike from 25 yards, but it's a strong wrist by McGinty, who makes a really good save.
Yeah, his 2 goals this season, Darragh Crowley, have both come in added time in games against Shamrock Rovers, looking for an early breakthrough here. Caught it really well. Bulger's header. Evan McLaughlin, 4 FAI Cup goals. Star quarter-final and semi-final, but Rovers getting numbers around him there. Fitzpatrick. Gaffney. Healy looking to restore some calm. Not a great ball that he gave Cleary, but Maguire closing, but now it's Burke. Corey O'Sullivan continues this real proper breakthrough season for him, selected ahead of Lee Grace. His 30th start between League Cup and Europe. 19-year-old from Ballyfermot.
Yeah, he's done really well this season, and such a vote of confidence from the manager to play him ahead of Lee Grace with all his experience. But he deserves it. Corey O'Sullivan, he's done really well.
Left wing back or left-sided centre back, he's been terrific this season. 2 years ago he marked a 15-year-old Yamin Lamal in the European Under-17 Championships.
Sure, Andy, everything else would be easy after that one.
Burke. Down to this right-hand side, and Danny Grant, wing back, so important for both of the sides today. Honan on the left and Grant on the right for Shamrock Rovers. Grant again, driving on the inside of Fitzpatrick, nudges it into the penalty area. Cleary in an advanced position, looking for a little bit of help. Tail poked away by McLaughlin.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick just has to be aware of Danny Grant's driving run inside him, because Danny Grant went by him all too easy. Here's the strike from Crowley. McGinty doesn't see it till late, and he does really well to get down and put a strong hand on it.
Burke liable to pop up anywhere. A career best in terms of his Shamrock Rovers days, goal scoring, 15 this season. Honohan. Cheers to the Cork City fans who once cheered him. Going on the outside in a take on Harry Nevin. Healy. Cleary again. Right side of the 3 Rovers centre half, seems plenty of the ball early. Grant. Laid off by Healy. Rovers recycle again, in and out. Cork City trying to stay compact. Gaffney on the move once more. Excellent goalkeeping, spotted early by Conor Brann.
That's really good goalkeeping by Brann, and will give him so much confidence as well, so early in the game, to come out and claim a ball like that, because it's a clever ball by Grant and a good run by Gaffney. But Brann's alert to it. Does well to get his hand down to that McGinty, doesn't he?
Grant. Fitzpatrick forces him back, and now Cleary again. Clips it up to Burke. McInnes looking to release Gaffney again. What a difference a year I can make in terms of Rory Gaffney. We hardly saw him last season.
Yeah, he struggled with injury, didn't he, Des? And he's come back into it. And I suppose he has to bide his time as well with the emergence of a young Michael Noonan, who'll be watching on, I'm sure, from Qatar this afternoon.
And you'd imagine both Rory Gaffney and Aaron Green, who misses out today, played a huge part in Noonan's development. To have that experience on the training ground with you every day, and he's made full use of it, Noonan. Bulger sweeps a fantastic ball wide right for Nevin. Need some support, maybe a little rusty. Harry Nevin, big shout to put him in today. Breaks off Anderson. He's looking for some medals to bring home. He's a 2-time European Cup winner. And Freddie Anderson setting off on his own path.
I'd say he'd give both of those up to see his son win an FAI Cup final, though.
Worked out by McLaughlin. Fitzpatrick, first chance to go here. Ideally, he's a left winger and has been throughout his schoolboy and into his Early days of his senior career, Josh Fitzpatrick, but he's got the energy levels to get up and down.
And that's important to playing wing back. It's just that his defensive duties that he needs to be aware of. And like I said there, it was just so easy for Grant to get on the inside of him initially. He just needs to be aware of that.
And now the long throw of Rory Feely. Fiacre Kelleher has made his way forward. Anderson has stayed back. And the Rovers backing off, anticipating the long throw. It's short to Fitzpatrick. Cork with a 3-on-2. Bolger, lovely touch. Crossing chance here from the left-hand side. Will carry all the way to the back, and a shot from Maguire. Draws the save from McGinty. Two impressive stops from Ed McGinty already.
It's great play by Alex Nolan, and it's a great ball into the box by him. And Maguire drops off Honohan, and again McGinty. He saved one with his right wrist earlier, but again his strong left hand gets down well and makes a great save.
Well, Rovers might have had more of the ball. Cork have had more of a threat though in terms of the opposition goalkeeper in action. The movement of Maguire. So many strikers you see advance towards the goal. He was pulling back out again. Caught it well on the turn.
See, people might think that this is just a hopeful cross in by Nolan, but you never know, they could have worked on it. Maguire drops off so well, but McGinty gets down well to save. Maguire, knowing his form and his quality, will be disappointed that he didn't put that by McGinty.
McGinty played a huge part in that quarter-final when they dethroned Drogheda. A run for Rovers that began with a 4-0 win against Wexford. Longford gave them a game. It was a late Graham Burke penalty that won it by the odd goal in 3. Then 1-1 up in Drogheda. 5-4 in the shootout with McGinty saving from Dara Markey and Dar Kareem. And the semi-final comfortable against Kerry, while Cork City were producing their best performance of the season. To beat St. Pat, sorry to mention that one.
It was a brilliant performance though, wasn't it? From start to finish.
Corey O'Sullivan looking to release Gaffney. The younger legs of Anderson seem to win out, but the referee has seen a touch off the retreating Cork City centre half. And Shamrock Rovers corner on the way.
Instep of his right foot there by Freddie Anderson. It's a great spot by Paul Norton, and it gives Rovers a great opportunity, especially when you have Watts being the set piece deliverer.
One of the best in the business in these situations, Dylan Watts, as he's high in early. Bran on his toes in there, good delivery. Lopez hurling himself at that one. His only goals this season have come against Cork City.
Look at
another one here.
Look at his desire to get on the ball though. He runs right across 3 players and dives at it. Feely does well to get the initial head on it, and it comes back off Lopez, goes out for the goal kick.
He's had a huge few weeks, the birth of baby Diego, and of course qualification for the World Cup next year. But he put the cherry on top. Cleary has to hook that one away. Alex Nolan only back to his feet now. And Burke being nibbled at by a man who knows him well in Greg Bolger. Telling off for the Wexford man who made his league debut at UCD 18 years ago against Cork City.
I think I played that day, Des.
Why aren't you still out there? River Valley Rangers gain though.
Exactly.
McAneff back to Cleary. Lopez zips it out to McAneff. Held up by Crowley. Healy looked to go early. That's been picked up by Bolger. Didn't have Nolan wide on the right-hand side, so Cork City recycle. Here is Feely. Perfectly read the ball down the line towards McLaughlin and out of Cleary.
Yeah, I just think when Bolger has that, when they win the ball back like that, they should really counter-attack quickly and get players up the pitch, because that's when Shamrock Rovers could be vulnerable. You'd like to see Alex Nolan getting wider and try and receive the ball.
Rovers getting numbers around Seanie Maguire again. Healy for Cleary. McInnes. Cup final goal scorer from the penalty spot back in 2019 against Dundalk, and then they thought they'd won it, only for Michael Duffy to find a magical leveller in added time. It all end well on the day for Rovers though. Watts, solid header away by Feely. Maguire, little nutmeg to find McLaughlin. Bolger, Feely, a bit of a chance with Watts buzzing about, but out for a Cork City throw-in. Who came into the Cork City Academy, told me during the week his first coach there was Billy Woods. Not a bad man to work under, particularly if you play in a position Josh Fitzpatrick does.
Certainly helps. What a player Billy was.
They're connected to both clubs, of course, but mostly Cork.
Mostly Cork, yeah. A player that I looked up to, obviously, as a wide player, coming into the league initially in Billy Woods, and he has a full trophy cabinet at home.
Kelleher felt like there was a little nudge there from Gaffney. From a Cork point of view, in terms of the inexperience maybe, and much of the team coming in here now, we're looking at what, almost 18 minutes gone. Those early nerves have probably dissipated by now.
It was a brilliant start by Cork, because that was what they would have been talking about. Don't let Shamrock Rovers in, stay between the lines. When Rovers have it, just watch Nevin and Fitzpatrick, both wing-backs, go straight in as full-backs.
There goes Nolan, with a brilliant cameo off the bench for Patzer a few years ago. Rory O'Sullivan intervenes. Nevin beaten to the punch, and here's Healy. Always calm in everything he does. Nolan colliding with Honohan. Burke. Has the strength to hold off Feely, who's trying to get back at him. Burke out to the left-hand side. Gaffney, as the referee allows the advantage. Anderson reading the thoughts and the movement of Gaffney there. Youth against experience, but dealt with it well, Anderson.
Yeah, Alan Cawley mentioned him in pre-game about his ability on 1v1 situations, and again, so good there by Anderson on Gaffney. I think Burke is a bit disappointed here that he didn't get a free kick off Feely, but in fairness to Paul Norton, Rovers were in a good position and the ball was laid to Gaffney.
Booming kick out down the middle. Maguire finds himself sandwiched between Healy and Lopez. And then off the ball, a tangle between Rory Gaffney and Fiacre Kelleher.
It's an interesting ploy by Shamrock Rovers. They are trying to feed Gaffney very, very early in possession of the ball. Watching Rovers this season, they like being patient with it, keeping the ball, moving the opposition around, but they are going from back to front a lot quicker today.
Oh, Feely at full stretch there. Had to get there indeed, with Birkin behind him. And at the other end, Maguire, a little nudge on Lopez. Team the wrong side of legal. Both men very complimentary about each other when I spoke to them during the week. Seanie Maguire saying his best battles in the League of Ireland have come against Roberto Lopez.
Lopez is a great player, but even just when that ball was played up, the movement of Maguire to go on the back of Lopez, just give him something to think about, and Lopez knew that if he was going to be touched, he was going to go down. That's how good Maguire is. He can come short and hold it up, but he has the pace to get in behind as well.
Burke dropping deep again. Set Rovers in train. Bolger in on Healy. And David Myler to the edge of the technical area, applauding the efforts of Greg Bolger. David Myler and of course Mark McNulty amongst the coaching staff for Gerard Nash, who has spoken a lot about making it feel Cork again.
I think that's the reason why Mark McNulty came back to Cork, is for that reason that Gerard Nash was talking to him. He wasn't planning on getting back into the fray. But once he was speaking to Nash, just trying to bring a bit of that old Cork back into the squad.
It's picked up by Darragh Crowley, who's got himself in the right position to intercept again. Maguire to Anderson. revel in the wide open spaces here today. Has to keep tabs on the marauding runs opponent as well, though. Kelleher inside to Bolger. Keeps it simple, puts Cork in a good position again to work their way out here. Thierry into the back of McLaughlin.
Sit down, are you going? Sit down. Sit down.
Midway through the first half, a fair bit of chat out there at the moment on the pitch and on the benches. I expect no less. Anderson for the first time comes out of defence, trying to spring Maguire or hit McLaughlin. Didn't manage either in the end. Kelleher now looking to cover against Gaffney. Gaffney with his head up, rolls it back. Healy and Burke. Healy looking to spread it wide, but he's got that one wrong. And out for a goal kick. And there is Rory Keating. He was came back with 45 minutes for the 21s in the last week of October, and then got a few minutes on the final day of the league season. He played the first 7 games, scored 3 goals. The idea was a Keating and Maguire partnership, but then the Achilles injury that kept him out, and he did well to get back for the end of this campaign. We wonder, will he have a role to play today? We wonder, could it have been different for Cork City if that injury didn't happen, and if Seanie Maguire, 3 games into the campaign, didn't lose 11 with a hamstring injury? But that's all for conjecture.
Seeing the two of them up front early doors in the early parts of the season, it was just so exciting to see the two of them working well together, because they both can drop in, like I talked about, and go in behind with their pace. So if the game is still in 0-0 in the last 15-20 minutes, there's probably no better striker that you'd want to come on. And his aim, Rory Keating's aim when the injury happened, was to get back in time for the end of the season. And what a game to be involved in.
Remember 2023, a couple of incredible league games, the 4-4 in Tala, Sean Hoare's goal, Hoare leveller deep into stoppage time, but then the combustible 1-0 to Cork at Turner's Cross when Rovers had 3 men sent off, including Sean Hoare, and Rory Keating was the man to win it late on. Bolger trying to smuggle it through to Maguire. McInnes and Healy. Zips that one out to Graham Burke. Danny Grant gets ahead of him. Gaffney down the middle. Burke's pass is loose though. Fitzpatrick needs to find a way out here, and he's managed to do so.
That's good play by Fitzpatrick, because he was going down a blind alley, but he managed to get out of the situation well. Playing it back to Feely.
Didn't want to put any of his teammates in a sticky spot there. Flicked on by McInnes. No one there to profit behind him. Maguire again goes into Lopez, and again on the wrong side of the referee.
He's not happy. He's saying it's a fair shoulder on Lopez, but he wasn't really going for the ball. He's looking at the player rather than the ball, and I think that's why Norton gives the foul.
I'd have heard him speaking to Tony ahead of the game, and all about 2016, how he was the hero, but he felt it was his worst performance. He was telling me during the week his representation told him there were 6 or 7 clubs going to be in the stands that day looking at him. It just didn't happen for him up until that magical moment. I said, he gave him that focus to just knuckle down and work hard again, and midway through 2017, after an avalanche of goals, he was on his way to England. There's Grant for Rovers, trying to win the corner. Might work for Danny Grant here, covering his Feely. Maguire again, how he's managed to emerge with that. A little bit of alchemy there. He looks second and third favourite.
He's just so strong. His low centre of gravity gets him away from players very easily. But going back to that 2017 season you talked about, Des, he was unplayable for the first 6 months before he got his move away.
26 goals in 30 appearances by the halfway points. It's angled towards Nevin. Here's McLaughlin. And tidied up by Danny Grant.
Bulger and Crowley are so disciplined in their positions, Des, in the opening 25-30 minutes of the game. They're not laying the ball into the 210s who are McAniff and Burke real easily, and that's been the problem with various opposition that Shamrock Rovers have come up against. They're far too easy to get on the ball. Because of that, they have to go back to front early or go out wide.
Cleary went off and running. And again, one of those needless fouls, and again it's Rory Feely just stepping those few yards out to diffuse the danger.
Yeah, clever play by Feely again, just gets his body between him and the ball. Ending on the back nowadays. Players feel they can go down, they know they're going to get a free.
Jaron Ash has spoken about the significance of that semi-final. He said it was our season, we had to win it. And now this offers the chance for a silver lining, in his words, to put some respect on the club's name today. They'll be heading to the first division. Could they do so as cup winners and be a team playing European football next year? That's the aim. Watts. Grant again, not much room to breathe in possession. A little bit of time here though for Anderson, who can stretch his legs. Confident to bring it out, but needs to find something into a big 50-50 with Watts. Then it breaks the way of Lopez. First time ball over the top, no flag here against Gaffney. Burke on the inside, Healy and McAniff arriving on the edge. And Gaffney not happy the sport wasn't up there in time with him, so he's done well to win the corner.
I'd nearly worry the other way round here when Maguire holds the ball up and Cork City players getting close to them, but it's the opposite. Gaffney does really well, breaks the onside. Kelleher plays him on, but look at this pace of the Shamrock Rovers players to get up and support. It's just not there.
Lopez has come close already from a dead ball delivery. Some heavy hitters clustered around the penalty spot here. Signal from Watts. Curls it in. Brand comes into traffic and gets there a second time.
Again, great confidence by Brand to win the initial punch and then to get back up and win it and catch the ball.
Fitzpatrick. Launches a little ball to Crowley. Nevin. Kelleher. First time facing Shamrock Rovers for Fiacre Kelleher. Entering that Cork City defence. Nevin inside, Bulger around the corner, Maguire already on the move. Ball had gone out of play though. The worst idea, that first time ball from Bulger.
Oh, he's very good at it. It's always his out ball, he talks about it regularly. So when the ball is played into him like that, he expects the wide players to get in behind the fullback for that ball.
McAniff as Crowley tries to get back goal side. Here is Grant. Gaffney looking to pin Feely for anything rolled into him. Grant, that little injection of pace, and Fitzpatrick gets a foot in. And the final touch deemed to have come off Danny Grant, so a goal kick.
Just earlier in the move, McAniff should be playing the ball into Gaffney much earlier. But Grant tries to stand up Fitzpatrick here. Looks like he's got the better of him with that touch, but it's just too close. And Fitzpatrick's able to make the challenge. I think Grant was considering going down as well.
Nevin gets the flick on this time. And Corey O'Sullivan tangling with Evan McLaughlin. Challenge is coming thick and fast. Gaffney kills it on the chest for Burke. McAniff. Burke again. Cork City retreat. Everyone behind the ball once more. Corey O'Sullivan. Lopez and Healy. Grant. Healy at the moment knitting everything together. Feely. The ball has enough legs to get over the line, it doesn't. Real composure from Rory Feely, who's had a very good game so far. Not on his natural side as the left side or the back three. Settle quickly, the header here will find Burke in space, and on his left hand side as well. Burke right down the middle and Brand comfortably behind it.
Yeah, he shoots a lot, especially from distance, Graham Burke, because he has the quality to do that. Crowley does well, we just missed it there. Does well to get back, and he has to tuck inside, and because of that then he doesn't have the backlift necessary to get enough power on his strike.
Talk about the X-Factor players out there, the game breakers. Graham Burke probably top of that list. Watts said he'll have about 40 family and friends here today. Healy. Cleary back to Lopez. Once again looking to show his passing range. Pushing down by Grant. Burke. Healy. McInniff. Now Honohan. Hasn't been on it too much. Driving at Nevin again. Backing his pace and his power. And Nevin did enough on the end line to make contact. It will be another Rovers corner.
Yeah. You said at the start it was possibly a surprise that Nevin played, and you're right, Des, it is. But you can see why. 1v1, Josh Honohan loves it, because he's so direct and getting by players. He's quick, he's strong, he's powerful, but that's twice now he's gone 1v1 with Nevin.
And we'll watch Honohan here because he is Rovers' fourth highest scorer this season, with 7 goals between Europe League and FAI Cup. Andy Lyons numbers, really, when you consider the impact of the wing-backs in recent years. Lopez going near post. Roger won the first header and the second. After looking to get away, felt he was clipped. Throw-in only.
Brilliant play by Bulger. He wins the initial header and then he gets across and keeps possession of the ball and flicks it to Nolan. With Rovers players breathing down his neck, it's great play.
I think Aaron McInniff is another ex-Derry City player who's trying to just calm Evan McLaughlin down there and make sure he doesn't talk himself into something he shouldn't. Daphne, back to Healy. McInniff closed down by the backtracking Maguire. Crowley, quick feed, and it's on down the right-hand side here. Alex Nolan backing up O'Sullivan. Nolan needs someone. McLaughlin was the one he went towards. Good shielding by Roberto Lopez to allow it to run through to McGinty.
Yeah, it's good play. Nolan gets outside, he gets 1v1 with O'Sullivan, that's where he want to be. I'd like to get him, try and get a shot off, put inside on that left foot, he's capable. Oh, credit to O'Sullivan, he does well in that 1v1 situation.
That Pats finally played in Alex Nolan was notable for the youth of the players involved. Tommy Lonergan, Mason Mealy, Alex Nolan, all playing their parts. Here's Grant to resume his battle with Josh Fitzpatrick. Gets his cross in, away by Feely. Only as far as McInniff, and taken on the half volley by Matt Healy. Controlled it well, just didn't have enough to find a way beyond Conor Brand.
Yeah, may have been offside where Gaffney was standing, was coming in terms of being in the way of the goalkeeper, but Brand does well.
He's made a big impact, Matt Healy, since coming in. We've not seen much of Gary O'Neill as a result of it this season. O'Neill, who scored that winning spot kick in half a season as a Rovers player, coming in from UCD back in 2019.
So Matt Healy can feel hard done by. He's probably not in the category for PFAI Player of the Year, considering the season that he's had.
Squeezed there by two Cork City players, and Nevin goes early towards Maguire. It's already a huge tussle between he and Roberto Lopez, and Watts emerged in possession. Kelleher has it covered.
Again, back to front really quickly by Rovers. It's like they're trying to isolate Kelleher 1v1 with Gaffney. Kelleher does well.
Huge weapon, Gaffney, in those situations, considering he's 36 now. They mentioned Greg Bolger at 37. Just as honest an operator, Gaffney, as you'll find. Work on the ground again, advantage allowed again, ball with Honohan. Crowley slides in. Dispossesses one-time teammate, Burke. Keeps it going right-hand side. Danny Grant, more numbers in the area this time for Rovers. But again, it's Feely to head clear. Cleary now. Clever disguise ball from Cleary into Burke. And up by Derek Crowley. Watts. Honohan. And one intention to try and commit. Little step over, ball in low, behind by Kelleher, but Josh Honohan really starting to grow into this game now.
Yeah, he done them there. Just with the step overs, look at the amount how quick they are. Nevin can't get back in time, and look at the Shamrock Rovers players are nearly on the edge of the box.
Well, his form since arriving in Tala has seen him call up to Republic of Ireland squads, Josh Honohan.
Hasn't got the ball enough, Des.
Short option taken this time. Healy. Good angle this for Watts. And Lopez looking for the flick on. Oh, he's got his head in his hands, knowing that was an opportunity.
It's a big chance. It's a great ball by Watts, and he's a free header. All he needs is one of those flick-ons, but he just gets his... Yeah, he just thinks he's a little bit closer to the goal than he is. Those flicks can cause awful sorts of bother for the goalkeeper. Lopez will be disappointed.
The heart and soul of Rovers, over 300 appearances now since he crossed the city divide 8 years ago. Anderson. Lopez blocking off the run of Maguire to allow Cleary find his goalkeeper. Hung in the air long enough for Nevin to think he might have had a chance. Murray O'Sullivan. Bolger applying the pressure, skied by McGinty. Burke under pressure, finds a good touch. Healy. A little look towards Grant on this near side, felt it wasn't on that time. There goes McInnes. Injecting some pace and still going McInnes. Sets it up for Honan in turn for Burke. Couldn't pull the trigger, Bolger saw to that. Watts will though. Comes off Kelleher. Honan again. This time Nolan the first defender. Watts. Given the angle across once more, didn't make the most of it. Murray O'Sullivan. Rovers looking to turn the screw here, giving Cork City pen back. Honan driving. And it's another corner conceded.
Yeah, he's feeling it now, Honan, the last few minutes, because he's getting the ball. He knows he's the beating of him now, Nevin.
Cork City players appealing that there was a little late nudge there and they should have had a free kick. Paul Norton not interested. Cork City have defended these situations well so far. Here's the latest one. And safe hands from Brown. Now he looks to bowl it out to Alex Nolan. Evan McLaughlin in the centre forward position, Shawnee Maguire in Akers on the far side. If there was a way of getting that ball out there. Nolan again. Through a couple of tackles, but not through the third. Cleary rolls it in field to Watts.
Rovers aren't quick in transition, Des. So when the opportunities are there to break and counter, they're not doing it.
Well, Grant has got a yard here on Fitzpatrick, who recovered. The corner count totting up now for Shamrock Rovers as we head into the last few minutes of this first half.
Yeah, we know Rovers are patient on the ball, but when Cork have so many players forward and Rovers win it back, that's the opportunity then to use those players on the outside, like Grant and Honohan. Grant's deliveries have been poor, though.
Important minutes these now into half-time. Shamrock Rovers cranking it up without unduly troubling Conor Brandt. Healy sets up Watts here. Healy again in the perfect angle to curl this one in. Brandt, well, anything in there he's dealt with. One of 3 goalkeepers Cork City have used this season. Tien Troost played the first 22 games, and then Conor Brandt, after Troost moved back to his homeland, was given his chance and he's taken it. Lopez. Ooh, that's not a great change by Nevin on Honohan. And that's the referee deciding here. Oh, it's the back pocket and Harry Nevin's off. They're all coming from a nice clearance from Roberto Lopez. Nevin felt he could get to it and win it, but when he didn't, the replay will show us it looked high from here. Monahan left in a heap, and this could be a huge moment in the cup final.
It's a shocker. There's a straight red card all day long. The way he has gone in there, he knows straight away how bad a tackle it is. There's no complaints. It's a really poor tackle, and Paul Norton has done what every referee in the world would have done.
He can have no complaints when he sees it back. It was crude, it was reckless, it was high, it was beyond the ball from Harry Nevin. An awful moment for the Cork-born and bred youngster. His cup final comes to an end in the dying embers of the first half, and the underdogs are down to 10 men.
I don't think there's any malice in it. I don't think he means to connect with Honohan. Honohan actually just waits to let the ball go by him. Initially, you can see here, Honohan makes a little step inside and puts his foot where the ball was. So there's no malice in it by Nevin. It's just that he's gone in with his studs and it's connected with Honohan high on his leg, and it is a red card all day long. But you do feel for the 21-year-old.
It's the 4th red card Cork City have been shown this season. It is the most significant. And you just got that feeling Cork City needed the half-time whistle. Getting in at 0-0 would have given them a chance to regroup, but now they'll be getting in, even if it is 0-0, with a serious disadvantage. And down that side where Honohan has been coming more and more to the fore, Darragh Crowley, it looks like now, for the remainder of this first half, will just slot in there. Position certainly not alien to him. It's set to become even more of a counter-attacking game now for Jared Ash's men. McLaughlin thunders into the tackle. Rovers knowing so much of this game left to play, don't need to force the issue. But a goal before half-time for them would be most welcome. Cleary swings across towards the back and Honohan. First on the scene is Watts. Corey O'Sullivan drills a good ball as well. It's on its way by Kelleher and out for another corner.
Great ball by O'Sullivan. But Evan McLaughlin now is just going to sit in with Bulger. As you said, Crowley's gone out to right wing back. It's going to be interesting if Nash does make any change to the half-time, because Evan McLaughlin can play in that position. And whether or not Nolan has the legs to do both number 10 jobs, it remains to be seen.
McAneff there for the short option if Watts wants it. Only McLaughlin out there for Cork City. So will the outswinger from Watts bring a richer dividends? Brandt can't come and claim this one, but he won't have to as it sails over the head of Anderson. Healy launches it forward. Corey O'Sullivan. Grant. McInnes. We expect to see this more and more now in the second half, keeping that with Shamrock Rovers. They stretch Cork City at every opportunity. Watts, cross again, another big header from Healy. Or Feely rather, it's Healy coming onto it then. And here's a free kick now, very much in Graham Burke or Dylan Watts' territory.
You probably fancy Burke from this position, but Fitzpatrick just goes in, leaves his body in where Healy is. Cork fans probably feel that Norton is on their back a little bit, but again, it's the right decision, it's the right call from the referee.
It's a very inviting situation, and Dylan Watts, who produced that magical moment against Galway to finally get Rovers over the line to win that league title. So capable in these situations. Last year's Player of the Year. Or will it be Burke? It is favouring the left footer, O'Brien. A solid hand and a fist behind it. He's had a very good half, Conor Brand. But Cork will head for the dressing rooms, a man down. They carried the early threat as we look at this Burke free kick again. Ed McGinty at the other end, two good saves to deny Darragh Crowley and Shawnee Maguire. And at the end, Brand's biggest moment there to make the save from Graham Burke. But the most significant moment, the red card, the straight red card for Harry Nevin, making his first start since August, entrusted with that job today, but mistimed and ill-judged as he went in on Josh Honohan. No goals to speak of in the first half, but you'd have to say now advantage Shamrock Rovers for the second. Half-time at the Aviva Stadium. It is Shamrock Rovers 0, 10 men, Cork City 0.
Cup final day at the Aviva, awash with club colours and a cracking atmosphere to boot. And while Rovers enjoyed plenty of the early ball, the chances fell to Cork City. But the Hoops have had territorial advantage, and now, of course, they also have a numerical advantage because late in the half, dreadful tackle, and Harry Nevin has been shown a red card. Cork City down to 10. And that certainly has changed the 2025 Cup final. Stuart, first of all, give us your opinion of the way that first half was going up until the sending off.
Yeah, I think very little in it, Peter, to be quite honest with you. I mean, Rovers certainly had times of possession, didn't really create much in terms of clear-cut chances. Cork, as you rightly said, did have the better opportunity with the Maguire chance for 12 yards out. As the game has gone on, you feel Cork are getting a little bit deeper and deeper, and Rovers are sort of dominating possession, maybe trying to put a bit more pressure on Cork, but you'd have to feel that the sending off has come from maybe that pressure and maybe a little bit of frustration, but it's going to change the game now.
Yeah, it certainly would. Sometimes we kind of have a heated debate about sendings off. I don't think that's going to happen on this occasion, is it, Gareth?
Absolutely not, Peter. Unfortunately for Harry, it's a red card. You can see Josh is actually waiting on the ball. He can't believe that Harry has come and tried to get the ball. He's just waiting to take a touch and then find a pass, but he's coming steaming in. But that's what you get when you've only played 38 minutes of football since August. It's the timing, it's the match experience. It's an awful tackle, and the referee had no option. It's a straight red card.
It's a really bad tackle, Peter. He knew himself, all the other players knew. You look at the reaction of them straight away. But I will say the referee, I think, has been poor in the game from a Cork City point of view. He hasn't given them very little. I was in Drogheda last week, the same referee, similar tackle, John Mowney on Conor Kane, never sent them off. Then he should have been sent off for a second yellow, never gave him the second yellow either, Peter. And now he's doing the cup final. But to be fair, he got it right there. That's 100% a red card.
Yeah, but he got that decision right.
He did in that one, but last week he was wrong. He was very wrong. So it's the inconsistency that we're always crying out for in terms of referees, and absolutely got that right, 100%.
The big thing for me is the big thing about Cork coming into this game was going to be managing the occasion, how they were going to be. We knew Rovers were going to be out there, they're used to that, this sort of occasion, the whole build-up. But for Cork to go and do so, it's just stupid. It's crazy.
And Jer Nash would have been absolutely buzzing with the first half. They have had the better chances, shots on goal. McGinty's been very good. I can't believe now they've got a massive uphill battle.
They really have. But let's have a look at a couple of chances early on in the game that they had, Stuart. While Rovers were dominating possession, but Cork were creating a couple of chances.
Short corner, this is dropping that Crowley. Have a look at the save from McGinty. Wow, absolute, just drops that hand last second. I don't know what he saw. He got his feet maybe wrong a little bit. Again, early on in the game, this has got down that left-hand side. This is where Cork are normally good. Come to Shamrock. He's got time to actually take a touch there, but he gets a good strike away. And again, McGinty, a hell of a strong hand, something the goalkeeper has done all year for Rovers when they haven't been defensively a little bit off. He's there pulling off big saves, big shot stopper.
Yeah, and as the half wore on though, Alan, Cork City were struggling a bit to get out, weren't they?
Yeah, they were really early in the match, those first two chances, Peter. Then, as you say, they were dropping deeper and they were finding it really difficult. The examples that we used, this is just one to highlight it, Peter, but it happened numerous times when they are trying to break up the pitch. All that's in shot there is Seanie Maguire and Evan McLaughlin out the far side. He ends up checking back Alex Nolan. He receives the ball again, runs into trouble, loses the ball. They've just found it really difficult. All the things we said that they did really well against Pats in terms of transitioning from defence into attack, they haven't been able to do that at all, Peter, today. Now, in some sense, it's been the way they've set up with two deep ones in Crowley and Greg Bulger, and they've done a great job defensively. And as Garrett said, the manager would have been over the moon going in at half-time, but then the red card ruins it all.
Yeah, unfortunately, Cork City are down to 10 in the 2025 FAI Cup final. It's 0-0 at half-time. We'll have more analysis right after the break. After their 4-1 win over Panama and yesterday's 2-1 win against Uzbekistan, the Republic of Ireland continue their World Cup campaign in Qatar on Tuesday when they take on Paraguay. That's from 1:20 on RTE2 and the Clare. Hamer Hallgrimsson's men host Portugal on Thursday in that crucial World Cup qualifier. Live coverage from 7 o'clock here on RTE2. The Republic of Ireland under-21s resume their UEFA Euro qualifying campaign on Friday when they take on England in Birmingham. It's on RTE2 and the Clare at 7. This day next week, it's do or die for the senior team. Our World Cup hopes in the balance as we face Hungary in Budapest. Coverage on RTE2 beginning at 1:30. Well, it's all of 25 years since Shelbourne last won the FAI Cup, and that Jubilee team is being recognised here this afternoon during the half-time interval. Having drawn 0-0 with Bows at Talca Park, the final went to a replay the following week at Dalymount, and it was Pat Fenlon who scored the only goal of the game as Shells lifted the trophy for the 7th time and completed the league and cup double. And so a team full of talent, and behind us, well, the two teams contesting this year's cup final are back out. It's going to be, how are Cork City going to approach this, Gareth?
Yeah, and the best of it is Harry Nevin was playing well against Honohan. It looked like Honohan's got the bit, he's got the bit between his teeth. He is a real handful down that left-hand side, and that looks like Shamrock Rovers' best chance of scoring. So I don't know whether there's going to be a substitution. They need to get somebody on that right-hand side that is quick and physical, that can put a real battle against Honohan.
Stuart, can you see any way for Cork City to keep Shamrock Rovers out and take this game to extra time and possibly penalties?
There's always a way. I mean, that is the way. I'm sure that's what they spoke about. Can they kind of nullify them? Can they keep them? Shells did it in 2012 when a man sent off, pushed the Sligo all the way to extra time. I think that's the only option for them.
Second half is about to start. Let's go back to Des and Conan.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. An interesting change at half-time. We mentioned Harry Nevin not playing a whole lot of football due to injury. Another man coming on now who's been in the same situation, Conor Drynan, who's only made 3 appearances back this season, having suffered an ACL in the autumn of last year. He is coming on, left-sider. So it looks like Josh Fitzpatrick is going to come across to the right-hand side, the position where they lost Harry Nevin to that red card late in the first half.
Yeah, I just don't think they want to mess up with Crowley and Bulger in the middle because they were doing so well. And because of that, then Alex Nolan's going to be was taken out. Fitzpatrick dropped over to the right-hand side, and Conor Drynan, well-able deputy on the left-hand side.
So we're going to have a little bit of a delay as the smoke drifts across the pitch here, it seems.
It's just going to be interesting now if Rovers take the game to Cork, or are they going to do the usual, what they like, holding the possession, waiting for gaps? Because Cork are definitely going to sit in here. I can't see them trying to go for it and press high up the pitch like they were doing at various instances in the first half. Usually when back three or Matt Healy was taking a poor touch. That was their cue to press. Don't think that's going to be the case this half.
And while we have this delay, we will mention the Shelbourne team that were out at half-time. Now that was, we were looking down from up here, picking out who we could before we saw the shot on the monitor. That was a star-studded outfit, wasn't it?
Oh, outstanding team. Outstanding team, and even the player that scored the winning goal, Pat Fenlon, who went on to great things as a manager as well. But some lineup, you'd love to see that team at their prime against this Shamrock Rovers team and see how they get on.
Well, this Rovers team aiming to cement their place as one of the best to have played in the history of the League of Ireland. They'll want that double just to copper fasten it. Came up short in their bid for 5 in a row in Shelbourne. They produced that season almost out of nothing. A season where they refused to be denied and won that league title up in Derry. And Stephen Bradley has spoken a lot in the last week or so about how much that hurt Shamrock Rovers and how that drove them to get back on top this season.
It was always going to be the case that they were going to come back and bounce back from that defeat, because they were 9 minutes away from winning the league title after being 12 points down maybe 8 weeks, 10 weeks previous to that. So to come back from that and to be so close to getting that 4 in a row was huge.
And the last league and cup double for Rovers, 87. The cup final was a 3-0 win against Dundalk, and the league won amid the backdrop of Milltown. And that was the era when they won 3 doubles in a row in the 80s. That brilliant team that had Jody Byrne through Pat Byrne and up to Mick Byrne, and a host of stars, Kenny and Eccles and Doolan Larkin, the list goes on.
Must be a thing about Burns, Des.
And winning cups. Well, this is a little awkward for the players now, isn't it? Because you come out, if you've got a bit of a pep in your step off the back of something the manager might have said, you want the game to get going quickly, and then this happens.
Well, that's it, and the footballs are out onto the pitch now. I don't know if the viewers at home can see this. The footballs are out and they're just passing the ball around, just trying to keep warm. It's not ideal preparation for the second half for sure, but it looks like we're about to get started.
Paul Norton down there, I think, feels visibility is at a level now where we can go. So 0-0 at half-time. Shamrock Rovers with a man advantage for this second half, providing they can keep 11 on the pitch themselves. Our side that in general does keep their discipline, and they know now they're in such a strong position here to see the job through, but they have to score and they haven't managed to do so yet. From Cork City point of view, how adventurous can they be? A man down, made that one change. Conor Drinan coming on. Certainly the switch of Josh Fitzpatrick, who will be as keen to attack down the right as he was down the left if the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, but he has one Josh Honohan who as Gareth McGlynn said there, has the bit between his teeth, especially in the last 15 minutes of that first half. He was getting 1v1 with Nevin, and although Nevin had the beating of him in the earlier part of the half, Honohan did take over in the latter part and was instrumental in the success down that left-hand side for Shamrock Rovers.
Well, it would be a cruel twist of fate and a twist of the knife, really, if Josh Honohan was to inspire a Shamrock Rovers Cup win here against the city of his birth, where he grew up and made his name. I mentioned Andy Lyons in the first half, and just in terms of the goals that the wing-backs tend to produce, at least on one side for Stephen Bradley down the last few years, Andy Lyons, we thought that might be an anomaly, but Josh Honohan has come in and just taken it on.
Absolutely. He's been excellent ever since he's come in. He was brilliant at Cork as well. Bradley saw the potential in him, like he has with so many players.
And like Andy Lyons, not playing in his more favoured side. Second half finally underway. Cork looking to apply pressure high up the pitch there. Firstly Maguire, then McLaughlin. Here is Feely. Impressive first half from the Kildare man. Ball taken in by Lopez. It goes direct. Kelleher again. Passes with his head. Rovers looking to settle back into their rhythm now, early stages of this second half. Dylan Watts. Monaghan content to go back to his captain this time. Roberto Lopez looking to follow in the footsteps of some illustrious captains, the last of which was Ronan Finn, to lift this FAI Cup. Burke across to Corey O'Sullivan. Here is Honohan. Backed up by O'Sullivan. Lopez as they try to draw Cork out here. Black jersey sitting in. Watts. Bolger gets there. Goal kick. His influence likely to be needed even more now in the second half, Greg Bolger.
Oh, absolutely. He's definitely got away with one there. It's a corner. It should have been a corner for Shamrock Rovers. And by the look of that, he kicks it out. But the experience putting the hand up straight away counts for a lot in this game.
Winner 2019, 17, 16 and 14 when he was man of the match for St. Pat's 11 years ago. Held on the middle. Free header for Healy. Here's Burke. Breaks away to McLaughlin Fitzpatrick. Gaffney looking to close down Brand here, who's time to take a steadying touch. Launching away towards Maguire. Just trying to get that little nudge on Lopez again. Needs him off balance and hope something can run in behind. Healy. McLaughlin buzzing about again. Healy's taken a knock to the face. Would have been one of his own players.
Yeah, it is an interesting one when Cork City have it, as we watch the replay here. McLaughlin just... Yeah, it is his own player that we just gets him caught, but with a knee. But it's when Shamrock Rovers have the ball, Cork City, with their usual back three, revert to a back five now. Conor Droynan drops in, Fitzpatrick drops in.
Watts pings it far side for Cleary. Danny Grant. Healy. Watts again, left to right, right to left. Shamrock Rovers prompting and probing, looking for some gaps, but that's a breakdown between Monaghan and Watts. And that was ambitious in the extreme from about 15 yards inside his own half. Greg Bolger.
He has done it before. He did it for St. Pat's against Derry City in Richmond Park back in 2013. So he is well capable of hitting it, but he just didn't connect with it.
Monaghan driving beyond Fitzpatrick. Anderson steps out. Burke. And there's the importance again of numbers and the experience of Bolger to be that second man on the scene. There's only so many people can score from the halfway line, isn't there?
I was hoping you were going to bring that up.
Dalymount Park. Remember Graham Burke's went up in Derry as well a few years ago.
Yeah, there's been a few.
Monaghan. No headway this time, and Maguire wins the free off Corey O'Sullivan.
He'll be a big part in this second half, Seanie Maguire, to get the ball up to him. He'll try and win those free kicks in around the centre circle area. Trying to get the team up the pitch.
He'll just want that one chance now. Had one in the first half, Seanie Maguire. Cup final winning goal scorer here. Republic of Ireland international goal scorer here. As Brand gives that everything he's got. Kelleher climbs, wins it over Cleary. Droynan gets his first touch of the cup final. Bolger sprays it across to Fitzpatrick. McLaughlin offers him some further width. Fitzpatrick checks onto his left, he's away from Watts. Tempting ball in, Anderson's flicked header off the line by McGinty, a brilliant double save. Offside flag is up now for the second effort anyway. But Freddie Anderson with the most deftest of headers here, thought he'd scored. Outstanding save, clawed away by McGinty.
Oh, it was that Fitzpatrick trying to deliver the ball earlier, but he wanted to put it in on his left foot, and you can see why. And you can also see why McGinty is the best goalkeeper in this league. It's an outstanding save. His footwork. A lot of goalkeepers would just jump in a standing position, but he doesn't. He takes 2 steps, you see it here, takes 2 steps and jumps, and it's a remarkable save.
Well, he was an early man in terms of the Cups at Sligo Rovers, got to a couple of semi-finals. Didn't make the big day. Ball down the channel is for McInnes, squares it across, and another goalkeeper showing what he's got at the other end, Conor Brand. Nothing spilling from his grasp.
Oh, it's great goalkeeping from both ends. We've talked about Brand in terms of his coming for crosses. He does really well there on the ground.
Maguire. Not an easy one to take. He had to wrestle with Cleary first. Honohan. Now, which way do you want to show him? Onto his stronger right side or show him the line? He's shown his qualities on his left as well. Fitzpatrick, the youngster mentioned by Ger Nash earlier in the season, is exactly the type of player you want. Wholly committed to the cause, gives it absolutely everything. And he's going to have a big role to play second half to try and curb the increasing influence of Honohan here.
Honohan fancies himself by pace the whole time. What I'd love to see him do more is just go on the outside, keep that touch towards the touchline, so he uses his pace to get it away from the fullback. He's putting it inside and allowing Fitzpatrick to get back in.
Maguire into the back of Honohan, play goes on. Maguire again. Bolger unable to win the race. But that chance for Anderson, that outstanding save from McGinty, will just give Cork heart. And even though they're a player down, they can still create some chances here.
Well, they created the better chances in the first half. And with 10 men, they've created a better chance in the second so far.
Rovers again look to expand the pitch. Watts bypasses Lopez. O'Sullivan. Burke. Honohan once more. Here's Healy. O'Sullivan. And Cork not biting.
It's important they don't. This isn't hurting them. These passes around this area, this isn't hurting Cork at all. The Shamrock Rovers are just trying to wait for gaps to appear.
And then in the end, it was an ill-judged pass from O'Sullivan that was picked off by Anderson. But Rovers start again. Burke. Bolger right there on top of him again. Lopez. Pings a fantastic ball right onto the thigh of Danny Grant. Trying to find the supporting run of Cleary. Trying in there for Cork City. Out of play by Rory Feely.
It's a superb ball by Lopez out to Grant. Grant has to do better. Hasn't been his greatest game in a Rovers shirt, that's for sure, with his delivery.
Honohan. Fitzpatrick, eyes on the ball. Asks Honohan to make his move. And then stands strong, Josh Fitzpatrick.
Just clips the ball with the top of his foot as he's trying to do a step over. You'll see it better here, this one. And it gives Fitzpatrick the opportunity to put a foot in and his body in, and he does it really well.
And he came to prominence at schools level with a very good side down at Douglas Community School, Josh Fitzpatrick. Healy gets the better of Maguire. Darragh Crowley. Huge energy levels, won the header and then went chasing. McGinty safe and assured, and he's kicking. Feely, feeling there was a touch from Gaffney that should have been punished, and eventually the whistle goes. Or does it? Yeah, the free kick has been given.
It just gives Cork the opportunity now, like I talked about, winning free kicks in around this area, allows the likes of Kelleher, Anderson and Feely to get up into the box and try and create havoc.
Big Derek Collin was the man back in '98 against Shelbourne. First of 4 Cork City FAI Cup wins. Bolger looking towards Feely and towards Maguire with the looping header. And McGinty safe hands and then grabbing his shirts. Kelleher wanting to make sure there was no quick restart here from McGinty. Just grabbed the Shamrock Rovers goalkeeper and brought him to ground.
Yeah, this is where you'd like consistency in a referee. He pulls him back by the jersey. It should be a yellow card there. I'd say it's important that the consistency remains in game.
The brother unable to make it today is a small matter of Newcastle United to face. I should say one of the brothers unable to make it today. Burke, Danny Grant. Turns back onto his left. Clearance skied by Bolger. First to react is Kelleher. Here's Healy. Gets it under his spell. Danny Grant put it in. Rovers have been attacking it. They want to corner, they'll get one.
Again, poor delivery from Grant though. 2 opportunities to put good balls into the box. Again, it's too low. You want your players running onto these balls. Try and get headers or strikes in.
Think back to McAneff's goal-scoring record at Terry City. Indeed, his first season with Rovers as well. Not a bad man to pop up in those areas. Healy's going to put it in. Big header that from Anderson. What we got to that with Daniel Cleary on his back. Maguire looking against it. You can hear what the Cork fans think of that decision. No time to protest for the players though, as Rovers get the game moving again quickly. Dylan Watts, great angle. Gaffney looking to get across the fronts. Healy wins another header. There's Graham Burke. Corey O'Sullivan. Gaffney wants service. Sullivan allowed to advance and now looking to provide. Gaffney on the end line. Just wouldn't come down for him. And half volleyed away by Conor Troynan. Cork City penned in.
Pressure building now.
Grant again. No longer Cork can keep it scoreless. Burke. Watts working these crossing positions against Shamrock Rovers. 2 standing here in position, one of whom is Cleary. It's that final ball hasn't been of the quality just yet. Honohan, crowded penalty area, sells the dummy. Stands up the cross, Burke with time to take it down. And now set one up. Oh, and that's ricocheted away. Brave defending from Rory Feely, body on the line there. Rovers come again, Corey O'Sullivan early for his captain. Lopez. Here is Grant. Sets it up for Watts. So become ball shouts. Corner only. And the referee has got a card out and he's coming across to one of the benches here as we look at this again.
Comes off his chest. His hand is up all right, but it does come off his chest. Just before that, ball comes in and Burke takes it on his chest, but Gaffney behind him has a free header.
Cork City under the cosh. Shamrock Rovers sensing as we head towards the hour mark that the breakthrough goal is imminent. Watts again. Oh, it's in for Gaffney, but offside. First header was won, I think, by Cleary.
It's a great header by Cleary initially, and it's the correct decision by the assistant referee. Gaffney knows it as well.
Well, that is a well-drilled defensive effort. So easy for someone to not step there and in the circumstances play Gaffney on, and Cork City would have been behind, but they all got out in tandem and Gaffney denied.
Full credit to Cork. They've been so disciplined for the first hour of this game since the second half. Started with 10 men as well.
Rory Gaffney, 13 goals this season, mostly front-loaded. Burke delays the pass, Honohan. Oh, McLaughlin's done well initially not to dive in and risk giving away a penalty, just to stand his ground.
Honohan just keeps coming and coming and coming. Burke with a great ball through. Honohan uses his strength to try and get by McLaughlin. Ends up playing it off and puts it out for a goal kick. It's great play by McLaughlin.
What a signing he's been, Evan McLaughlin. Team of the season last year in his first campaign in from his native Derry City. 7 goals this season, big in the quarter-final with a brace and the semi-final with a brace. Crowley up, beaten to it by Honohan. Anderson. Lopez had eyes on it quickly, then Maguire. Here is Healy. Inside the last half hour. Think back to that run, 2015 to 21 inclusive. 6 in the 7 finals went beyond 90 minutes. 3 went to penalty shootouts. Cork City hanging on here, still a long way to go. Much more defending to do. Another cross, another header, this side from Kelleher, who then looks to engage. Burke deflected. And Brand reacts well as well.
Yeah, he's still alert. Coming off his line to get it while Gaffney was there. And Burke just wants, he needs a half a yard, that's all he needs. Brand sharp off his line.
Bran and Gaffney, 2 men from the west. Conor Bran, who started out underage at Salt Hill, Devon, went through at Athlone and Limerick and Galway. A spell with Swindon. He's had a big outing here so far. As has McGinty at the other end. Here's Burke. Honohan. Rovers slow it down again. Almost everyone in the final third. Cleary. When you look up, it's hard to see a way through the middle. So congested as it is. Burke waits for Corey O'Sullivan on the overlap. Here's the cross. Oh, the first touch is by Anderson, and then a swing and a slice by Honan. Given his record in front of goal this season, that goes down as a big, big chance.
It is a chance. It's a great overlapping play by O'Sullivan, and it's a clever ball in. It drops to Honan, he tries to take it on the half volley. But again, this timeout that we see time and time again, where the goalkeeper goes down, gives Ger Nash the opportunity to speak to his players, gives them a bit of a breather, because they are flagging a little bit in the last couple of minutes, because it's just been relentless attack after attack by Shamrock Rovers.
Ger Nash will relish this opportunity to get his team in. Conor Brand will get a little bit of physio.
And he'll be okay.
Goalkeepers have to sell it a bit these days. I hope we're not doing him a disservice, and there is an injury in there. I think the best way I saw this dealt with in the past was Chris Forrester up at the Brandywell a few years ago. When this happened, he decided to go and stand in the Derry City huddle just to see exactly what instructions were being passed on. And confirming that yellow card earlier was for the Cork City manager, Ger Nash. The coaching staffs, they tend to take it in turns then, don't they, to be the next one up to argue. So we might see David Myler or Mark McNulty if there's another contentious one that they're not happy with. But a breather for Cork City, and you'd have to say they needed it.
I think that's what it was more than anything, because they're tactically and shape-wise, they've been excellent. To a man, they've put their heart and soul into this match so far. And I think it just needed a little breather. Pause Rovers' momentum for a couple of minutes.
Well, we know what Rovers have to call on off the bench. Cork City will need their bench to function as well. Experience in the likes of Sean Murray in there. We mentioned Rory Keating. Young legs, maybe Matthew Murray. Kit Nelson had a terrific season. Unfortunate maybe to be left out today. Caden Kamara, Matty Kiernan, Charlie Lyons, all there. Burke. Anderson opted to take a touch, then in his pocket picked, and he grabbed back in, and Gaffney won't be denied this time. Will not be denied this time. Rory Gaffney. First blood drawn in the cup final, and it's been coming. No surprise in the goal scoring. The man who plays such a huge role for Shamrock Rovers, Rory Gaffney.
That's the first time Freddie Anderson has done something wrong in this game. He's been outstanding, but he just takes a touch in his own box, and that allows Dylan Watts to snatch in and put a great ball into the back post for Danny Grant, who I've commented on. Final ball hasn't been good enough, but he lays it on a plate. You just see here, Anderson takes the touch. Watts puts it to the back post. Danny Grant, great ball across. And Gaffney has the simplest of finishes to put the ball in the back of the net for Shamrock Rovers.
Well, he just seemed caught unawares, young Freddie Anderson. Felt he had time to take a touch, then look up and clear. But his pocket was picked. And as you said, lovely cushion touch from Danny Grant to put it on a plate for Rory Gaffney. 14 goals for the season. He's second in the FAI Cup. He's third against Cork City. And that is the goal they've been craving.
Oh, it's just a composure from Grant, though, at that back post. You'll see it time and time again. You saw it with Honohan earlier on. He snatched at it on the half volley and put it over the bar. It's just a way that he just used the instep of his right foot to play it back across goal, to give his teammate Rory Gaffney the simplest of finishes.
And now you think back to those 3 saves from Ed McGinty. 2 in the first half, 1 in the second. Sean Kavanagh, who's had another injury-hit season, dogged by injuries for the last 3 or 4 years. Looks like he might be getting the nod from Stephen Bradley. Here's Corey O'Sullivan. Honohan. Space is there for Healy. Watts. Burke. Checks back again. Grant stays on side. Cleary. Waits for Watts. And now Rovers a little bit of keep ball. Healy looks forward. Won't break it down initially, but now it's back with Graham Burke. Visibility might be difficult here for the goalkeeper if anything comes into the penalty area. They don't have to force any issue, chase any game now, Shamrock Rovers. The Gaffney goal has them in the driving seat.
Yeah, it's up to Cork now to step out, try and win the ball back, and use the counter-attacking players in the team that can cause problems, but it's whether they can get the ball back is the problem.
Honohan. McInnes. And again, headed away by Kelleher. Cleary, delicate touch. And back with Lopez. Danny Grant, I think, nudges it to the end line. Here's another cross headed away. Healy didn't make the contact he needed. Bolger's headed to the edge, picked up by Healy again. Cleary. Cork City. No, they can't leave any gaps there. After time, the decisions come out and engage. Bolger thought that was the time. He's committed the foul. It's that fine line now between going chasing the ball to try and get back into this game. Still over 20 minutes to go. Still time. They can't afford to ship a second, though, you'd think.
I think Rovers there are just talking to Paul Norton about just playing advantage, because he didn't give a yellow card to Bolger for the tackle. So why is he pulling it back when they're in an attacking position? But looks like Cork are going to make a couple of substitutions here, because, look, 20 minutes to go in an FAI Cup final. They're going to have to throw the kitchen sink here at Rovers.
And it is the young, fresh legs, the 2 teenagers coming on, Caden Kamara, the Liverpudlian, and Matthew Murray. And it's Theatre Kelleher and Greg Bolger on the spine of that team to make way. Kamara straight into the centre of midfield.
It's 2 interesting substitutions taken off such experience in Kelleher and Bolger, bringing on young guns.
And Matthew Murray, who's just come back from an ankle injury, appeared on the final day against Derry City after missing the previous 5 games. Part of that Ireland under-17 team we mentioned with Corey O'Sullivan earlier, that was at the Euros 2 years ago. In by Watts. Don't have that Kelleher presence now to defend, but it was Caden Kamara who got his first touch. Likewise here now Murray. Oh, and that will break for Gaffney. It was in behind Feely. Tight angle. Gaffney! He's found the net executive angles. Had a little look to see if there was someone in position for a pullback. Decided there wasn't. Backed himself. Rory Gaffney on the double. Shamrock Rovers closing in on the double.
Burke would have gone mad at Gaffney if he hadn't squared, if he hadn't scored the goal. But in fairness to Gaffney, he did all the work himself. The closing down to get in beyond Feely, who came across. We talked about his pace in the first half. And the audacity to put it in from such a tight angle, to even try it, just shows the confidence of this player and the ability. He's coming in at such a tight angle. He looks for Burke, but he just puts it through Brand's legs. There wasn't much of a gap to put it through, but you have the quality of Gaffney in the team. He can find those gaps.
Well, last year, as we mentioned, a write-off. I'm not sure if I'm right in saying that his contract might have been up, that he had to come back. He proved himself in terms of his fitness in pre-season, and how he has delivered, Rory Gaffney.
He just feels so sorry for this Cork City side. They put, like I've talked about before, they put so much into this game. Their energy, commitment, and it all boils down to a moment of madness.
And no sooner did Ger Nash make that double change to offer them more going forward, sacrificing a defender to get an extra attacking player on than Rory Feely. So unlucky, that ball could have gone anywhere. The ricochet. Gaffney had the step, had the power, had the drive, had the ambition, and had the finish.
Yeah, they have gone to a back four now, obviously. Didn't even have a chance to see it because Rovers were in complete possession of the ball when the substitutions were made. But Fitzpatrick has gone right back, drawing and left back now, and you see Kamara and Crowley in the middle. Again, it's just for legs. I was surprised that Bulger was taken off. He's still getting around the pitch, even though he is, as you talked about before, he is 37 years old. He wasn't happy being taken off.
Loose clearance from Bran. Comes off Drynan though, who's now gone to left back. Feely and Anderson in the centre, Crowley on the right. We got Matthew Murray in support of Maguire. And the two heroes so far for Shamrock Rovers at opposite ends of the pitch, Ed McGinty and Rory Gaffney. Lopez. Trying in position to defend it. Matthew Murray looking to set off on that far side. There he times his challenge well. And now with just over 16 minutes of the 90 to go, it's time for Rory Keating. He's going to replace Evan McLaughlin as we look back at this Gaffney goal again.
Such a composed finish, put it in from there. But we talked about this now. With Keating going up front, he's done remarkably well. And in fairness to him, he's gone through so much over the last number of years. To be able to walk onto a pitch in an FAI Cup final, albeit perhaps in defeat, is testament to the character that he is, coming back from the injury this season. It's a big moment for him.
All the goals he scored first time around when he arrived in 2022 from Galway. We mentioned that goal in that combustible win at Turner's Cross in 23, the year he lost his dad tragically. He was en route to watch him back up at the showgrounds. Half a season at Pats before returning last season. And he's in pressurising McGinty. Think back to the playoff final, they lost in Tala against Waterford as well when he picked up the early injury. A day that might have turned out differently. They need him now.
Such a hard luck story for Cork, considering the injuries that they've had to key players. Like Bulger missed a large part of the early part of the season. Sean Maguire with his hamstring injuries.
Gaffney on a hat-trick, off and running. Feely goes with him and guides him over the end line, but as soon as that ball dropped in midfield, Gaffney was spun and off, knowing the delivery was coming.
And he's been playing on the shoulder all day. We talked about it. He was back to front early on from Shamrock Rovers to try and feed Gaffney. He's got his 2 goals.
Success down in Limerick. And it's a youngster under Pat Scully. And then headed off on his travels around England. Came back his first season at Shamrock Rovers, wrecked by an Achilles injury, the shortened COVID season of 2020. Hardly kicked a ball, didn't score a goal, but ever since then, he has been massive for Stephen Bradley. And there's no bigger day to produce the goods than on FAI Cup final day. Honan and Healy, maybe a touch bittersweet for them today. It's a professional game, you move on.
They'll be very proud of their opposition, the opposition team, considering the game that they gave Shamrock Rovers up until half-time and even until the first goal.
Facing plenty of their former teammates today. Here is Honan to go again. And Fitzpatrick makes the tackle. It's been a tough role for Josh Fitzpatrick, but that desire's still there. They've got goal scorers on the pitch, but can they get them in position to have the deficit and maybe give themselves something to fight for in the minutes that remain? More defending to do. And coming off the bench, Danny Mandroiu and John McGovern. It might be the end of Gaffney. He might not get a chance to get a hat-trick. This might be his chance. Corner taken to the edge, and Healy looking to bend one, but he's off target. And now the changes will come. Dylan Watts is the first one to go. And Rory Gaffney will depart to a hero's ovation here.
See the two goals here again. The ability of Grant. And just the determination of Gaffney then to complete his brace. Great day's work.
And departs with a beaming smile, and the congratulations of Stephen Bradley and Stephen MacPhail. Danny Mandroiu on. And that's just a signal again of the strength and depth. And John McGovern, who is chasing cup wins. More on that in a moment. He's chasing a cup goal here. McGovern looks to go back across Conor Brown, but earlier in the year he won the Irish Cup up north with Dungannon Swifts. It could be a notable double for him.
Yeah, he just went on the wrong side. He has the pace to get by this Cork City backline.
Maybe just called into it, John McGovern. Didn't have the touches he was looking for. Clever from Burke. Back heel into Kamara to win the throw-in. And you look at the clock, almost at the 79-minute mark.
The Rovers are still pushing. It's like they just want to make a mark here. They're looking for a third. With the substitutions they made, Mandroiu for Watts, Watts is more sitting midfielder, Mandroiu more attacking.
Well, you don't get a second chance at a cup final, not these days. And just go back to that moment, Harry Nevin late in the first half, and how costly it has proven ultimately. Foul by Kamara. And Mandroiu is just on the pitch, is in a bit of difficulty here. He's just come back from an injury.
Yeah, it's his knee. He knew straight away. His left knee just buckled a little bit. When he put all his weight on it, it's not good.
And remember, of course, Rovers season doesn't end today. They still have Conference League games on the way. Shakhtar Donetsk and Breda Blick and Hamrun. Concern now for Danny Mandroiu, who's in obvious distress here.
Crowley is one that's trying to get the ball off him. He's using his body to keep him away. It's just when he bounces off him and he puts his foot down.
And Roberto Lopez, you just see there, that doesn't look good, as he's signalling that Danny Mandroiu's day is going to be a very, very brief one. Well, Conor Malley is just jogging back from his warm-up down to our left-hand side. It looks like he'll be brought in. Gaffney's day. And the first one, Johnny on the spot after good work down the left and right, and the second of his own making.
Yeah, you can just see him looking up for Burke. And Burke, just in the celebrations, he just says to him, just a little wry smile. You're very lucky you score it.
Well, they're celebrating in Dublin, they're celebrating all around Tallaght, over in Tuam as well. And Conor Malley, who came in the summer on loan from Sligo Rovers, will be in for the minutes that remain unless Cork City can come up with a very big late impact here, which is looking unlikely. They travelled in hope, and particularly off the back of that Pat semi-final performance down at Turner's Cross, but on the road has been their issue this season. Just 4 points and no wins in the league away from Turner's Cross, and just that cup win in Ballybofey to show for their efforts. It's been an obvious Achilles heel, and unless there's something remarkable, as we said, in the remaining minutes here, it's going to be a season of woe for them. And for the Cork sides, of which there have been several incarnations down through the years, it's going to be another loss in a cup final to Shamrock Rovers. But this is a very sad sight for Danny Mantroiu. And let's hope any initial fears aren't realised. And Fiacre Kelleher and Greg Bolger will give it their all today. But faces look resigned. Shamrock Rovers have dominated the second half, but you have to look back at the three saves from Ed McGinty as well.
I think the last of them was probably the best from Freddie Anderson. Clipped header. It's just his footwork to get himself across the goal and push it out wide was just incredible save.
Looked like he might have been on his way to Tallaght a few years earlier, before he headed off to Oxford after his stellar displays for Sligo Rovers.
You might talk about the second save. He's actually offside. The player coming in here, Evan McLaughlin, but the second save was great as well. But it's just his footwork and his ability to get across his own goal.
And that spring, after he was initially heading in the opposite direction, to plant his legs and to spring and get a hand to it. Amazing save from McGinty. Applause from all quarters for Danny Mantroiu. Well, you have cup final dreams the night before, and well, this is so unfortunate. And our best wishes with him as he's stretchered off. Conor Malley off the bench.
You can see he's still in a lot of distress as well. We wish him well.
Free kick in a central position, Healy will take, and they've been overload on this near side, and it might fall here to Burke, who really caught that one. Two Cork City players raced out at him. Dara Crowley was one, Conor Troynan the other.
He certainly connected with that strike, Graham Burke. Crowley did really well to block the strike.
Ball into the channel, Burke off and running. Tidied up back to Conor Brown from Cork City's point of view now. 85 minutes on the clock, you might as well be beaten 3-2. They've got to find a way to go for it here. Trying and loses sight of it. Cork City throw in, but from deep inside their own half.
It's a good ball in, Honan does well there just to get in behind the Cork City defence, plays it back across his goal. Burke with the strike.
Launched into the night sky by Ed McGinty. Feeney gets up early against McGovern. Anderson, Maguire, Keating on the move, Lopez went in low and bravely. Honan. Anderson got across him. Had a lost sight of the ball, but did enough to win the free kick. Freddie Anderson.
Yeah, he just drags him down. Does well initially, Honohan playing it into McAniff, trying to get the reverse ball, but it is a foul.
So Conor Brand, Cork need one and need one quickly. One's beyond Keating, headed away by Cleary. Little touch from Crowley, gets it back in Cork possession. Anderson, Fitzpatrick, looking to back up Honohan this time. One great cross from Fitzpatrick already. Here's another one around the back, and Murray just couldn't get there in time.
It's a great ball again by Fitzpatrick, and he's just pointing out to his teammates, how come no one's in the back post?
Two more changes as Shamrock Rovers now look to see it through. Sean Kavanagh, we saw earlier, and Lee Grace. Honohan looks like his day is done. Kavanagh could slot in there, or could slot in and they could move Corey O'Sullivan out one. They're always valuable players you can put in a few positions, isn't it?
Just look at the players that they've brought onto this pitch today. They'd probably start most other League of Ireland teams. Grace probably feels hard done by not to be in the starting 11.
Well, Honohan has more than played his parts. And it looks like Graham Burke is departing as well. And on come Messrs Kavanagh and Grace. So Grace into the back three, Kavanagh's going into midfield, Corey O'Sullivan out to left wing back.
And still so strong. That's the strength, the depth that the Shamrock Rovers squad has had. I asked a question to Bradley last week about that. How hard is it to manage such a squad with players wanting to play every week?
And let's mention as well, Neil Ferrugia moving on. Johnny Kenny, 21 goals last season. And of course the Jack Byrne situation this season. Marcus Poon, there's been a long list heading out, but they bring in, they strengthen and they bring through. You look at Corey O'Sullivan, you look at Michael Noonan coming in, having made his senior breakthrough. Down at Pats and what he's doing, and for Rovers as well, I'm sure, having 4 away at the Under-17 World Cup. Michael Noonan as well as Victor Oceanfuna, Max Kovalevskis and Alex Noonan, the goalkeeper, Cork and Brodie Lee over there. And we should give a mention today as well for Cathal O'Sullivan, who we spoke about the injuries to Shawnee Maguire and Rory Keating. Cathal O'Sullivan, one of the brightest young prospects in the domestic game. We'll see him maybe midway through next season. Ball slips out of the grasp of Feely, and then Anderson fouls. Let's get your man of the match then today, Conan.
Yeah, look, it was a difficult one between two, because ultimately Ed McGinty was fantastic in the opening hour of the game, but you score 2 goals in the cup final, you have to be player of the match. And Rory Gaffney, for me, with his quality of finishes, his overall play, he led the line really well. It was back to front throughout for Shamrock Rovers, and he's my Sports Direct player of the match.
And Rory Gaffney might well have his feet up down there. A well-deserved rest for him. A man who never drops below 100% effort and has the goals to reward him as well. It's a day he'll remember for a long time. We're hearing there'll be at least 7 minutes to be added on. Dara Crowley driving Cork forward again. Grace not yet to the pace of the game. That's a foul on Shawnee Maguire. Maybe one to set up a grandstand finish here. David Myler down there giving the instructions to Conor Brown. So where he wants to land this one. Cork win the first header, Roberto Lopez the second. Back in by Trinan. Anderson is up there, wouldn't fall for Maguire or Keating. Oh, shifted beautifully, but over the bar. Well, the first part was brilliant. Rory Feely just couldn't complement it with another cup final goal.
Yeah, cup final goal in that same end as well. It's a great bit of play by the centre-half. He clips it over McAniff. He just doesn't get his knee over the ball enough to keep the ball down. He's not too happy with himself.
And to Sean Kavanagh's credit, late pressure maybe just forced Feely to snatch it quicker than he would have liked. It's hard to conceive really that, given their league dominance since 2020, that the cup hasn't landed. Since 2019 and 2020 it was the extra time loss in a goal-laden final against Dundalk, the David McMillan final. 2021 it was Bows in the second round, 22 it was the quarter-finals, extra time up in Derry, 23 the first round at Dundalk, 24 the second round at Dalymount Park and Bows again. The double is hard won, hard earned. The last side to do it, Dundalk 2018, the year before. We had Cork City, a little flashpoint here now late on. Referee with some sorting out to do.
I don't think Keaton is too happy with Grace in this instance. He says that he kicks out with him here. This angle will tell you a lot. It is a foul, but yeah, he does kind of lead the boot in. That's for sure.
And Maguire, the captain, took exception. Brand down low to his left to save. Straight away, Feely urging everyone up the pitch. Brand towards Keating, who gets the flick on. Lopez will have to be aware of the fast closing Maguire. Cork City throw it. Josh Fitzpatrick, Feely wants it long. Instead, Fitzpatrick throws it to him. Now Rory Feely. What options has he got here? Back out to Fitzpatrick. And again, back on his left. Rovers have let him go. Fitzpatrick! McGinty makes the save. It was brilliantly struck by Josh Fitzpatrick. Here's Matthew Murray, looking to take on Grant. Can't afford to foul him. Cork City can't let Rovers eat up the clock, and it's Grant who fouls Crowley. And Josh Fitzpatrick hasn't let the side down today. Two brilliant crosses and one terrific strike on goal here.
It's a great strike on goal, but again, McGinty's down here to make the save and clearly does his job. Getting the rebounder away from danger.
It's that awkward one for McGinty. It's coming from such distance. He can't commit too early. There might be a touch in the way. Judged it well again, the Scottish goalkeeper in goal for Rovers. Matthew Murray to take the free kick. It's a poor delivery, volleyed away by Kavanagh. Murray can get on it again. Out for a Cork City throw-in, which Feely will go across to take. 3 minutes for the greatest rescue act ever in a cup final.
Well, they're throwing the kitchen sink at them here.
Hurled in by Feely. Big header won by Cleary. Feely again. Cleary behind it again. Kamara. Left-footed. Oh, not a bad delivery, but no one getting there ahead of McGinty.
Yeah, because Grace nearly gets the head on that there, so he did. You're right, Des. He had to wait until the last minute to make the save, just in case deflection came in. It's his fourth good save of the game.
Well, Alan Manus, you think back to his penalty save from Daniel Cleary, who was to go on to become his teammate. We've mentioned Mark McNulty and Michael Duffy. There have been big moments from goalkeepers in cup finals. Kieran Kelly, we have to mention. Sligo Rovers saved all four of Shamrock Rovers. That's a few years ago now, but that will always be remembered. But Ed McGinty, mentioning Sligo, has had a towering performance today. Came up big in that quarter-final up in Drogheda as the holders were ousted. And has come up big today. club that went from 1987 to 2019 without a cup win. Just 5 since they won a remarkable 7 in the 1960s. The Rovers back in love again with the cup this season. And all the sweeter given that it's coming in the form of a league double. League and cup double, Matthew Murray. And that one wide and harmlessly wide of McGinty's post. For Cork, well, this is really going to hurt now. A season where they've been in games, as Alan Coley was mentioning ahead of it, where they started with Tim Clancy, ended with Ger Nash. Continues the roller coaster nature of their last few seasons. 2022, the Division 1 title under Colin Healy. 23 lost that playoff to Waterford in Tala. 24 up under Tim Clancy. And 25 back down again. Solace they hoped would be found in this cup final, but it wasn't to be. The late red card in that first half so telling. And then the damage done by Rory Gaffney. Paul Norton's had a look at his watch. We've hit these 7 additional minutes, and right on the 7 it's over. 100 years after their first FAI Cup success, Shamrock Rovers land their 26th, and with it complete the cherished domestic double. They continue to set the standard. For Cork City, no fairy tale ending to a year that will leave feelings of hurt and frustration. A telling off season in 2026 on the way for them, but today all about a Rovers side that has delivered again. 38 years since that great side of the 80s. Stephen Bradley's men land the league and cup double.
A truly remarkable achievement. 38 years, a long time for a club like Shamrock Rovers to wait for a double, but they've deserved it ever since the Premier Division crown was taken off them last season by Shelbourne. They came back fighting this year. The aim, as they talked about at the start of the season, was to double, and to achieve that is no mean feat. So full credit has to go to Stephen Bradley, Glenn Cronin, Stephen McPhail, and everybody involved in Shamrock Rovers for the fantastic success.
Yeah, they've refreshed the squad. They've been able to. They've got that depth. They've got the youth coming through. So the future looking bright for Shamrock Rovers, as well as their recent dominance domestically. And this is a great result for them now as Stephen Bradley embraces Aaron Green, a man who knows all about winning the FAI Cup. And for the youngsters, what a day. Ian Barrett didn't get on the pitch today, but he's there celebrating with Corey O'Sullivan. And to spare for Shawnee Maguire, the hope was that he could inspire this team again, as he did in the semi-final. But Cork City left crestfallen. Shamrock Rovers on the crest of a wave. The double completed. Shamrock Rovers 2, Cork City 0. Let's hear from the man of the match now with Tony.
Yes, indeed, Rory Gaffney is the Sports Direct man of the match in the Cup Final. Sharon Lancaster, marketing manager for Sports Direct, is here to present Rory with his trophy. Thank you, Sharon, and well done, well deserved. 2 goals in a Cup Final, that's not bad.
Yeah, I can't complain. Very tough first half. I suppose sending off has really changed the game. Applied pressure in the second half, and I suppose we got our rewards.
The double, Rory, it hasn't happened to Shamrock Rovers since 1987. It's a very special achievement.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I suppose how we qualified for Europe the hard way, having to go through 3 rounds to make it. You know, it's an unbelievable year.
Talk to me about the goals. The first one, a striker's dream. Even I would score that, maybe.
Yeah, first one probably shanked it. Second one, I suppose, nice finish. Took a touch, looking to try and pass it to Berkey, but there's no sign of him, so I said I had to take it on.
If you hadn't scored it, Berkey would have killed you.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
How would you rate the season so far?
Unbelievable.
When I say so far, the season domestically is over, but Europe's still to come.
There's more to come. But you know, we've had a great year. This man, absolutely unbelievable. He's probably had the year of his life. World Cup, treble, baby Diego. He can't do any more.
Well, congratulations to you. He can thank you for making it possible. Congratulations to you. It was a marvellous year, as Rory rightly says. How does it feel?
It's amazing, to be honest with you. It's probably the first time that I'd actually sit back and celebrate everything, because one thing just kept happening. You had to keep your focus on the next goal, trying to win the league, trying to win the cup, what you've done today, and now we're history. So, and since Diego was born, like I had in the back of my head, sorry, since we knew we were going to have him, in the back of my head thinking, these are the days you want to celebrate with your kids, and I'm in a privileged position to be able to do that today.
Rory, can I ask you, how good a captain is he, and how important has he been to Shamrock Rovers, not just this season, but for the last number of years?
He's absolutely unbelievable. He's hands down best captain I've ever had. He just leads by example every day. Warm-ups, gym sessions, doesn't cut corners, just absolute leader.
For you, how much you paying him for that?
Yeah. Now look, I've always said the strength of us is the group, and you have like leaders like Rory, like Aaron Green, Brian Burke, Dylan Watsley, Grace. You name a few more, like we're a group. You know what I mean? It's not one pair of hands on the trophy day. It's going to be 30, 40, and what a day celebration will be.
Shortly you will be going up to lift that trophy, but tell me a little bit about the year. I mean, the fact that for Cape Verde you're going to the World Cup, that in itself is a remarkable story. And then you lead these boys, these hoops, to a double, which hasn't been done since 1987.
Yeah.
And of course Diego coming as well. Congratulations.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've had it easy. I've been the luckiest guy ever. I get to do all this. I mean, wife Leah has been amazing. Say she gave birth to our child, and nothing will top that. Honestly, football was the last thing on my mind this year. It was about getting a baby here safely, and Leah's done that. It's done amazing, and now we can enjoy these moments. I say we're lucky to be here, and we will enjoy them.
When's the movie coming out? It's an incredible story.
Look, I'm not a movie maker. I play football for a living, and that's me.
Congratulations to you and our man of the match, Rory Gaffney. Well done.
Yeah, he's a real leader, Roberto Lopez. I think the movie will come out after he runs for president. That might be the next one. He has just been a heart and soul, a rock and more for Stephen Bradley and for Shamrock Rovers. And nice of him to mention as well, his wife, his family. It's a day for all the people who've got you to this point, right from your underage coaches. We know where a lot of these players have started out. Lured Celtic for Roberto Lopez. And it goes all the way through the people who played a big role in your life in getting you to this point.
Oh, it's the sacrifices that you make, obviously, but your family have to make them with you. Who brings you to your matches when you're 6, 7 and 8? Who cooks your dinners? Who makes sure your nutrition is right in those early times of your career? And then obviously if you find a lifelong partner, they have to go on the journey with you. And obviously with Pico Lopez, his wife Leah, he's given birth to a baby Diego, and I love his words, and he's 100% right. Football comes second to all this. Family's most important, but he can enjoy this moment now. And what a captain he has been from ever since he went across from Bohemians to Shamrock Rovers. A lot of people were talking about, gee, does he have the quality? But he worked really hard on that, and he talked about it in an interview with Dan McDonald, the Irish Independent, about going back to basics in terms of his passing, and he did that, and he worked on his game, and he continues to work on his game. And like Rory Gaffney said there, he just doesn't cut corners.
And as Cork City go up for the medals they didn't want to receive, well, a lot of these players on the positive side of things still contracted with the club, so they'll want to bounce back quickly. They did so impressively the last time. They lost just a couple of league games in the first division as they came back up, but that's no consolation to Seanie Maguire and the rest of them down there. It's a bitter pill to swallow. They'd have felt they had enough in a one-off game, and they showed in the first half those chances they created. Darragh Crowley and Seanie Maguire himself denied by two great saves from Ed McGinty. They were in it, but against a team like Shamrock Rovers, who keep the ball well, who keep the pitch big, to lose a man for just over half of a game makes it very, very difficult indeed.
Like if Cork played a 10 out of 10 game, which they had done up until half-time, it wasn't going to be guaranteed that they'd win the game. They're coming up against the Shamrock Rovers team. They have it all. They have experience, they have leadership, they have quality. The spine of this team, of any team, is so important. And when you have like the likes of Lopez, Matt Healy, Burke running through the heart of your team, it'll always make you favourites.
See Glenn Cronin down there as well. And just to mention, talking to Corey O'Sullivan this week, in terms of moving from a left wing back into a left centre back, as we saw him for much of the second half of the season, he said it's down to the extra work done with Glenn Cronin after the training sessions, just those little edges that they can get, the work these young players are willing to put in to try and make that first team breakthrough.
It's the extra. It's always the extra. I keep telling young players the same thing. You can't just go to training and then go home. There's always have to be, whether it's before training, after training, going home, watching videos, watching players to play your position, I say it to my own team. It's so important in order to develop your own self.
So here we go. Roberto Lopez still down there as his teammates collect their medals. Awaiting the nod to come forward. And for the players who didn't get on today, the likes of Adam Matthews, it's a cup medal still to cherish. Sean Kavanagh, Lee Grace down the line. Dylan Watts, who didn't play in 2019. The one they won did play in 2020, so it does leave you with a bit of mixed feelings, really. You want to be a part of it, you want to play as much a part in it as you can. And for Stephen Bradley, we'll mention Josh as well today. And what a journey that has been for the Bradley family, and how well they've handled it all, and with the support around them, the marathon that Stephen Bradley and Glenn Cronin ran recently. Everything that galvanises a team and a club and a squad. Micheál Martin, the Cork Taoiseach, would have been hoping maybe to be welcome Fiacre Kelleher up here. But the cup about to be handed over to Roberto Lopez, and for Shamrock Rovers, 26th FAI Cup victory, the double. They've spoken about the team of '87, how big they've been coming in to talk to this team, to inspire them, Pat Byrne and the likes. And they are back on top, not just in league terms, but in FAI Cup terms as well. Shamrock Rovers, the double winners for 2025. The Holy Grail achieved, and still more football to play this season. But this is a moment they've been waiting 6 years for, to lift the FAI Cup at the Aviva Stadium again. We'll take a break and come back with all the post-match analysis in just a few moments' time. Shamrock Rovers Day, FAI Cup winners.
And you're very welcome back. The celebrations continue here for Shamrock Rovers at the Aviva Stadium. By lifting the FAI Cup, they've completed that long-awaited double. And right now, we can hear from the winning manager, Stephen Bradley. He's with Tony.
Stephen Bradley, double winner. Congratulations, an amazing achievement for Shamrock Rovers.
Yeah, it's been one of our targets as a group. We've done a lot, but a domestic double is something that we obviously haven't done a long time as a club, and I feel this team deserves it. They've got the quality, but you have to go and do it. And they've done it off the back of Greece on Thursday. I thought they were excellent today, you know.
You probably were overwhelming favourites, but you still had to go and get the job done. And you have to say your goalkeeper was excellent today as well.
Yeah, Cork started really well, and he had a number of opportunities. Ed made some really good saves, and we need that in the first half, but we know he's quality, and then our quality came through.
Rory Gaffney, I mean, what an amazing season he's had. You didn't bring him to Athens with this game specifically in mind, I guess.
Yeah, you had to. Rory's of an age where you have to protect him and look after and pick his games, and I felt today was more important. I felt today he would cause them problems, and he's gone and scored 2 goals to win the double. Incredible for him.
What does it mean for you personally? I mean, you and your family have had an incredible journey. Great to hear that Josh, your son, is doing so well. You've been with the club a long time now, and you've had success after success. 5 of the last league titles. The FAI Cup, as you said, how important it was to you in 2019. The double this year. I mean, what a journey for you.
Yeah, I'm very lucky, Tony, to be honest, to work here. I have the best group of players in the country, the best staff. And this year's been incredible for me personally. Obviously, we've done this double together. Josh getting the all clear. It was special, you know, special. So, yeah.
I can see how much it means to you, and as it should. But this group of players and this club have all been behind you and your family and Josh in his recovery, thankfully. I mean, there's a special bond, as you can see, with the supporters today, the family of Shamrock Rovers.
Yeah, there is, because I think it's important we're one. If you want to be successful, you have to be one, on and off the pitch, in every way. You've all got to be on the same direction. And right now, this club is all together, and we're going in one direction, and we need to keep building now. We have to enjoy this. but we have to keep building. People are waiting for us to stand still.
You've got, I think it's about 18 days till the next European game, so maybe a chance to have at least a little celebration. But then, when's the next mountain for you to peak?
Well, we have to look at next year. How do we improve in Europe? How do we go to the next stage in Europe? Can we go and crack Europa League and then look beyond that? That has to be our aim. Can we do it? I don't know. But we can't stand still. We've done the Conference League a few years now. We need to want to go again and go push each other to get into the Europa League, and I believe we can do that.
Well, listen, congratulations to you and your wonderful players on an amazing achievement. Double winner, Stephen Bradley, congratulations.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Yeah, well, right from early on in the season, he made it fairly obvious that the double was one of their priorities this season, Gareth, and they've achieved that. And I suppose the question is, how much further can they go? Because they've achieved well by getting to the Conference League once again into the group stages. But how far can Shamrock Rovers go at the moment?
Well, they're a runaway train. Since the 13th of February, he has managed the schedule, managed the players incredibly well. And it's no coincidence that both Honohan was the big threat in the game and Gaffney got the 2 goals and he left them home from Athens. That's what he's doing. To me, that's his biggest strength. Yeah. Been able to manage all these amazing players. You saw the bench. Can you imagine having to sit till Grace and those type of players that can't play in a cup final? He's absolutely brilliant, and fair play to them. They deserve it.
Yeah, and of course, they're setting the bar very high for the other clubs who will hopefully follow Stu in. Maybe we'll have time to expand on that, but we have to look back on the key moments from that second half. And first of all, Rory Gaffney's first goal. Great work by Danny Grant.
Yeah, I mean, this left-hand side for Shamrock Rovers, it was everything good came down that left-hand side. I feel sorry for Fitzpatrick because he was overrun at times, didn't get that help he needed, but clever little ball from Dylan Watts to the back stick, and once it comes back to Gaffney, you can see Cork, the defenders, are kind of panicking, just trying to get back into the goal line to kind of maybe cover it. But once it comes to Gaffney, he's clever enough to stand still, and he's got really a tap in, to be quite honest. It was coming. You could see that the Cork were exhausted at the time. They expended all the energy that they had, and it was coming. It was an awful shame that when the 2 changes were made by Nash, that Cork scored so suddenly. Maybe a couple of minutes they might have been able to settle themselves in, but ultimately, once the goal came, it was always going to be one-way traffic.
Gareth, when you think of it, he's been such an important player for Shamrock Rovers over the last 2 seasons. I mean, they probably lost the league last year to Shelburne because of Rory Gaffney's absence for much of that season due to injury.
Peter, you're only saying that because he's your favourite. You love Gaffney, and you've loved him for a few years now.
He's a great player.
He is a great player, but in fairness to him, he had to prove his fitness at the start of the year as well, Peter, so he's gone through a lot. But in terms of managing his minutes, like Stephen said in the interview, and looking after him, he comes up trumps today with the 2 goals. They were easy enough goals. The big thing, the big talking point is the standing off. Everything changed off the back of that. It was inevitable that we're going to score, Peter. Once they got the first goal, it was inevitable it would end 2 or 3 maybe. But Cork, to be fair, and as Stewie outlined there in the first goal, they were fatigued at that stage. They were out on their feet, Cork City. The sending off was so pivotal.
Yeah, there's Alan accusing me of my West of Ireland bias coming through, but Rory Gaffney has been key. And let's have a look at the second goal, Gareth.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when the sending off goes off, it's just about Cork trying to keep it down a little chance. You see there, Evan McGowan trying to run the ball, puts it off here, but Shamrock Rovers were all over them. Yes, they were down to 10 men, but Shamrock Rovers worked them, and it's just a lucky ricochet. But the title, the angle here, this is the only place he could put the ball, is right between his legs. We were right behind it. It was unbelievable. You might actually get a better view here now as well. Yes, you get lucky, but you make those look. You make your own look. He's looking up. Who can he pull it back? He says, no, I'm just going to put it straight through his legs. And he's been absolutely brilliant. But Gaffney in particular, he had opportunities and bigger offers to go elsewhere. He stayed at Shamrock Rovers for these type of moments.
You know, I was thinking back to earlier on in the game, he had a similar break down the left-hand side, and nobody had got up to support him, and he was fuming at his players, so took the onus there, and it's a clever little finish.
Now, he wasn't the only Shamrock Rovers hero on the day, Stuart. You spoke about Ed McGinty before the game. And when you think of it, Ed McGinty had to pull off a couple of very, very important saves during that final.
Absolutely. I mean, we touched on it before the game. I mean, I think they should be giving this fella the cup in his house maybe for a couple of weeks, because he really has, you know, we talked about him being a really good shot stopper, but wonderful reaction save. Have a look at that for a strong right hand. I mean, I don't think it gets a deflection, but he obviously sees it very late. But he just got to get his right hand down really quickly, and then left hand. You know, I mean, that's a quality opposition. This is the second half. This is early on in the second half. A double save coming up, Anderson with the header, and he's got to get himself back up. Look, that's just outstanding. That's absolutely outstanding. That's top quality.
So you have to give Cork an awful lot of credit on the day, Alan, and especially after they were reduced to 10 men. I mean, they still made a game of it and gave us a good final, but this was the turning point in the game, wasn't it, when we had the sending off?
Absolutely, Peter, because up to that point they were well in the game. We were showing examples of McGinty pulling off good saves, Cork having a couple of opportunities. They found it difficult in that first half the longer it went on, Peter, in terms of getting out. But what is he thinking, the boy? He's going to regret that for a long, long time, that decision. And when I say decision, he had time to think about it, Peter. It wasn't like one of those heat of the moment kind of. He's 80 yards from the goal, Honohan. Why is he lunging in so aggressively and dangerously as he does, the lad? And to be fair, Peter, the referee had no option, as we said, at half-time. But that's cost them, because at half-time they are well in the game up until that moment.
Alan, they needed to be flawless in their decision-making and their discipline, and they just weren't. They made one mistake, and it's cost them the cup.
And that's the small margins people talk about. It looks like people tuning in and won't watch the match. 2-0, the red hot favourites, won easy, you know, if you didn't see the match. But that was huge, Peter. Now, I'm not saying Cork would have went on to win the match, but they were well in the fight. Once that happens, you're out of the fight.
It all counts as well. You know, that experience under pressure, dealing with the occasion. Rovers have been here before. They've been playing in European football. They've been dealing with big crowds. I mean, it only takes one thing for it all to go out the door. And you give credit to Cork that they stuck with it.